I have been waiting to embark on this adventure of Jurassic World Rebirth, because as a lot of you know, I gave it quite a scathing review, but because there was no footage at the time, I couldn't aptly show you what didn't work about the movie. There were some decent setups, and then they just did not deliver. When people hear me talking about this stuff, they think I'm just nitpicking. So here we go. Another dumb movie Monday, even though it's not necessarily Monday. But who says you can't watch it on a Monday and it becomes dumb movie Monday to you? So prepare to be shocked. So the story starts off 17 years ago in the middle of nowhere, and there's this facility, fully operational, creating dinosaurs, the whole thing.
We keep running until the hybrid bolts. We are not securing your
Of course, this is foreshadowing for something that clearly looks as though it is mixed with raptor and it has wings. Obviously, from what we can see here, it's a pteranodon mixed with a velociraptor or some form of dromaeosaur or raptor. I want to show you how painstakingly annoying the logic is for this movie. Ew. I hope that's his knee. But yeah, having come off of the whole Final Destination thing, now I know the writers are just doing this for the laughs. Because you cannot tell me that they take this franchise seriously after what you're about to see here.
Oh, yeah, sorry, hold on. Okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1. So I assume we up the soporifics? Well, we don't want to kill the thing.
What the fuck? So the Snickers wrapper, first of all, why is he eating in a, how did he even, you have these suits on for decontamination reasons, and you're eating, and then you drop the wrapper, and then apparently these high-level security doors go completely kaput because something, I guess the filter for the door or whatever the case is, it gets sucked in there and that just kills the doors. If that were the case, this whole operation would have been up in flames before it even got off the ground. This is lazy writing. Like, when people were making jokes about this entire thing being killed from a Snickers wrapper, they weren't joking. There's literally no reason for the writing to be this freaking dumb. Like, how does this even happen? How? Good Lord. The minute I saw this, like, me and my husband were literally sitting there like, really? Really? What is this, Final Destination? It makes no sense. So then, as you can imagine, all shit breaks loose, and they're like, oh no, the dinosaur is gonna escape! But then her friend gets stuck back there, and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't open the door. And he's like, no, you have to, please, or I'm gonna die. Then the thing comes up behind him, all xenomorph-like, and she's, I'm so sorry, I can't open the door. I mean, it was your Snickers bars that did this, so I mean, kind of poetic justice if you ask me. Then he screams and the dinosaur takes forever to hold him. At the speed at which this thing moves, he probably could have run circles around him and traveled through time. I'm just saying, this isn't the only time that we see this. This is supposed to be the creature that is built up to be this very big baddie. And yet, knowing what you know about this creature, yet somehow the creature is slower than the slowest sauropod. Please make this make sense. But anyway, he dies a death that he really didn't need to die for. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, we're supposed to feel as though this creature is nimble and agile. It's not. We'll get to that in a little bit. So anyway, we go to the present. Apparently, the dinosaurs are now thriving in a tropical band around the equator. They're dying off because of other reasons, which is strange because wasn't there also freaking Pyroraptor from the last movie that actually thrived in very cold regions? I mean, it was even to the point where this thing was so acclimated to the cold that it could just dive through ice water and have no problem whatsoever, didn't freeze, didn't get cold, but yet this thing, we're supposed to believe that it and the other dinosaurs that thrive in these areas somehow are dying off and would thrive in the equator in the hottest part of the world? Really? But anyways, people are bored with dinosaurs, because of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Look, guys, it's another member berry. Objects in the mirror are closer than they may appear. Remember the T-Rex chase, guys? And the reason why this scene was also really well done is to add to the fear factor, because they're saying that objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. So don't just trust the mirror. Whatever is chasing you that you see in the mirror is actually way closer to you than you want to admit. See, remember, guys?
Hey, man,
Anyway, we meet Dr. Doom guy from the old Fantastic Four movie. No, it's not actually him. It just kind of looks like him. And traffic is being held up by an apatosaurus that has graffiti on top of it. And everyone's just like, get out of the way. We don't care anymore, which is, what is wrong with the humans in this world? It makes no sense. Then Scarlett Johansson's like, oh, well, I'm in your car. Now what? Turns out this guy hired her for a job to go to some island to get some dinosaurs, because why not? So he says, look, we're going to a place where the government, every government on the planet has outlawed travel, so you can't go there. She's like, really? He said, yes, but I'm gonna pay you a lot of money.
You know that 20% of the world's population will die of heart disease? That's 1 in every 5 people on the planet. Now just imagine, take somebody you know, anybody, imagine that you could be the one to give them an extra 20 years of life.
That's very touching. It's not my field.
And we have very deep pockets.
Huh?
How deep?
For you, extremely.
Oh my. So wait, now we have the motivation of the supposed villain and rich guy, and we get the motivations for why the other characters are here. All they need is a kooky, quirky civilian.
No, it's a fortune, Miss Bennett. The kind of money that would mean you'd never have to put your life on the line ever again.
All right, what's the hitch?
The Neo-Jurassic Age has proven lethal to Dinosauria. Though some species can survive in a few isolated, oxygen-rich tropical microclimates clustered in equatorial regions, where interactions with humans and other
So there they were giving us a little mini cute exposition as to why the dinosaurs are dying off. And to be fair, the person said there's a few species that can survive. So I guess the Pyroraptor is in that mix, but not enough. It makes you wonder though, why hasn't it been the case for them to take these dinosaurs back off of the area? Why are all the dinosaurs still here? Not only do people have a hard time and a challenge killing dinosaurs in this world, but also relocating them, which is what we've seen throughout all of the franchise, based on them having whole protocols with moving dinosaurs. We saw that in Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. I mean, it's not that big of a feat, especially the people responsible for bringing them here. So I don't understand why this is an issue, and why the dinosaurs are just roaming through New York. They're slow, and they're big. Why is it such an issue? Oh, we're just so helpless. We have no idea how to contain this problem. Okay? Oh no, look, we gotta pay homage again. How many of these homages do they have to freaking show us? It is so annoying. Every new Jurassic World movie does it to death. It's also interesting because after the 3rd movie and maybe some of the 4th movie, these pieces of shit stop being good. At this point, I think that the original movies would rather you not pay homage to them because you were nowhere near close to what the originals were.
Doctor. Sorry to drop in unannounced. Can we have a word?
Sorry, it's a hell of a day here. They're closing us down.
So here's where we meet the quirky doctor dude. I swear I'm gonna have to do this movie in several parts or something because, or maybe just make it one really long video because we're gonna get the motivations for each of the that cake back there though, Jesus Christ, are you okay? But anyway, we're gonna have to do several of these freaking videos because the motivations are so crazy. The writing is so bad. You'll get to see what I'm talking about. But anyway, they need this guy so he can, I guess, identify the dinosaurs. So this is where he meets Zora Bennett, the mission specialist, and he's like, mission specialist? Excuse me? What's going on? So they're all doing this paleocoronary thing. They're developing a new drug called paleodioxin or whatever. And, you know, they're making some headway. And this is one of the villains that, for the first time in the Jurassic Park franchise, aside from it being wholesome with what Dr. Hammond was trying to do, is actually something that can contribute to society.
Coronary health. We're developing a new drug, paleodioxin, derived from the largest dinosaur species on record. Computer modeling suggests it could forestall coronary disease by an average of 2 decades.
And that makes sense because Zora's mother over here died of heart disease. So, of course, she would have a dog in this fight, but it doesn't really seem so. She seems to just want the money. The dialogue is kind of weird in places here because, yes, he did get a little personal with her, but then why did she ask him how everyone can read a file? If you get too personal, I'm out. Which I understand because business is business, but then what does it have to do with reading her file? Then again, it would kind of rub me the wrong way if someone's like, we're working on this new thing and I'm already paying you and you agreed to it, but your parent that narrowly missed this opportunity, they could have lived longer had I done this. I can understand how that would be in poor taste. So he says the research is crucial, they can't get it to trial, they need real dinosaurs to synthesize the DNA from, the dinosaurs with the biggest hearts. And in true Jurassic Park or Jurassic World form, they place it down to RPG game standards of categories and side quests that you must do to achieve your goal in the campaign. Get biggest heart from a seagoing, land-based, and avian dinosaur. I don't know why you wouldn't just get the biggest land ones since, you know, seagoing creatures and avian creatures have different structured hearts based on their environments. But anyways, it's Jurassic World.
Means the 3 dinosaurs they need are Mosasaurus, which lives in the ocean, and Titanosaurus. You'll find them on land.
Really, I couldn't tell from the 4 big-ass fucking legs they have. I really thought I'd find them in the sky, Mr. Henry.
And in the sky, Quetzalcoatlus. It's the largest pterosaur. Each of them had an average lifespan of well over a century, even before DNA refinement.
A drug that could prevent heart disease would be the biggest medical breakthrough in centuries.
But it makes no sense because these animals lived in a completely different environment under different gravity and stressors, air composition, diets which we can see, because a bunch of them are biting the dust. Also, the mosasaur is not a dinosaur. I know that's just nitpicking. It's a marine reptile, whatever. I know, this is Jurassic Park. They're doing it for the purpose of moving a plot along and need any excuse for these people to go back to an island. But if they were really serious about studying heart disease, they'd be looking at other mammals. You know, pigs, chimpanzees, whales would actually make more sense because they're all closer to us on the evolutionary tree. Dinosaurs, especially the ones that they're making up in this world, diverge. They're so far from the genetic human genome or whatever. But the whole concept, we all know, is just a contrived excuse to shoehorn in them going after the really big dinosaurs so that we can get a Pokemon Go Jurassic Edition kind of vibe about the movie. But E for effort, at least this guy's trying to do something to help humanity. We know he's not doing it because he's all that altruistic. He wants to make money as well, but it's better for you to have a motivation to make money as long as you're helping to enhance the lifespan or quality of life for human beings. So he's like, Dr. Loomis, we need to get going as soon as possible. And this dude's like, wait a minute, what? I thought you just wanted to ask me questions. Oh shit, what's happening right now? You want me to come along to see dinosaurs in the freaking flesh?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit this one out. I heard all those stories about those people dying and getting ripped to pieces. Are you crazy? I'm not that stupid.
Why don't you send an army?
Because, my dear, shaved bird child, guns don't work on dinosaurs in this world. Duh, where have you been? But he's just asking all the questions the audience would be asking, and it still doesn't really explain how this is happening. This dude wants confidentiality. And of course, remember, they're gonna offer you money.
Take blood samples from these animals while they're alive?
Hemoglobin deoxygenates within seconds post-mortem. Lividity and hypothesis follow immediately.
Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated location. We're putting together a team, and we'd like to leave immediately. We have competitors, and Mr. Parker does not tolerate second place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, yeah, more or less.
More or less. And first of all, how would she be able to guarantee his safety? I'm sorry, but if I'm going somewhere, I don't care how many missions she's been on. You're a middle-aged woman who's probably around the same size as me. Hold on. Okay, she's 5'3". I'm 5'2". I'm sorry. Like, I know, compared to these big-ass dinosaurs, and the fact that we have a long history in this franchise, which I'm sure these people are privy to, of people dying horrific ways that were armed at the jaws and hands and claws of dinosaurs, just makes me feel as though, call me crazy, I wouldn't be safe, and there's no way in hell you'd be able to guarantee my safety unless you have some kind of nuclear freaking bomb. And then at that point, you can't guarantee anybody's safety.
Yeah, more or less.
I don't know, it's not about my safety, it's just more or less.
Yeah.
What you're proposing is really illegal.
Anyway, we gotta spend a bit of time of this guy pining over how the dinosaurs are dying out there. And this guy's trying to sell him that you're just a guy who visits zoos. You can see them in real life. How many people can say that they've done that, dude? Then there's a comedic bit that really isn't freaking funny. But anyway, let's get to the meat of all this. You see, Scarlett Johansson has an old friend of hers, but this guy doesn't know that they're friends, which a little bit of research, you would have found that out anyway. Apparently, these two spent 10 years in Marsoc together. This guy is Duncan Kincaid. And she's not going on this mission unless he comes. Then there's the hot guy from Deadpool, Ajax or whatever his name was, and I'm like, oh yeah, yes, finally. He's gonna be around for the long haul, right? Their first mission is the Mosasaur. So they're tracking it, and of course we gotta get a little bit more exposition through our dinosaur expert here, who answers the question of why the dinosaurs only exist near the equator or thrive by there. The air is different, the solar radiation is different, yada yada. It's closer to the climate 60 million years years ago, even though they've already told us that these dinosaurs are not actual freaking dinosaurs. They're theme park monsters that have DNA from modern animals as well. So I don't know why they keep seesawing back and forth the logic of these movies. The whole reason they even did that is so the dinosaurs could survive in the theme parks of the modern age. So I don't understand why they keep retconning the story. You're paying homage to all the old movies, but clearly this has nothing to do with them. Anyway, they have Tranks. And of course, we gotta get a little philosophy in there as well, where this guy thinks he's better than everybody else.
Paralysis within a couple of seconds.
And then what?
And then you survive. Is this the part where you tell me it's a crime to kill a dinosaur, Doctor?
No, this is where I tell you it's a sin to kill a dinosaur.
It's a sin? Bro, go sit down. What in the world? I mean, they could just let you die. Is it a sin then? Would you sacrifice yourself if a dinosaur is trying to eat your ass? Look, I really would rather not kill an animal if I can help it. If I could just scare them away, that would be best. But if an animal is in the middle of gobbling up my husband or one of my dogs, I'm blasting that skull all the way open. I'm sorry. There's no question about it. It's kill or be killed in the wild, and I'm an animal too. I'm a member of the animal kingdom, so it is what it is. But him going all religious on him and saying it's a sin, why should they care? You knew who these people are when you decide to sign up for this, and you're gonna act there, you're gonna sit there and act all high and mighty? In any other situation where you're around people like this is where you this is where you would get a gun butt in the face.
So, what if it's us all then?
Then we put ourselves in a place where we don't belong.
It's kind of our specialty, Dr. Loomis.
With no intention of harming the animals, let's just get our samples and go home.
You decided to come here. What did you think was going to happen? Now, if nobody carried any weapons or anything, and they're like, we're just gonna carry your 2 long arms, and if we get eaten, we just get eaten, right? You decided to come along because of the money that you were getting. So he has no right to be sitting there telling people what to do when you yourself are going there for selfish reasons in a place where you just admitted you don't belong in. Freaking weirdos. They're always ready to sit there and profess how righteous they are until it shows up on their doorstep or they're expected to survive in the very same situation. Remember all those people that were like, you should just let all those people, the exodus of thousands upon thousands of people, just enter your country. And then when they're like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. Let's help them. And they place them on the door of a lot of these rich people. The rich people are like, oh no, I didn't mean me. How fast they freaking changed their tune. I found that hilarious.
Feel that spray?
Yeah.
Now imagine the boat rocking at 15 to 20 degrees. We're moving at 30 knots. You got sweat running in your eyes and you're close enough to look that thing right in the teeth. You got this.
Please, be my guest.
Oh, really? If you insist.
Oh, please. So lucky this is Scarlett Jo in this role, and because I love her so much, I don't mind it, but if this were anybody else, I have a feeling I would absolutely hate this character. So anyway, when the thing injects into the animal, it shoots into the air, and then parachutes on the way back down, except this one didn't do that for some reason. All you have to know about these characters now, and mind you, we are over 20 minutes in, but anyways, you have to know that she lost someone. They're really close to each other. She doesn't like talking about it, but Duncan is the person that she's closest to. And Duncan lost a child, and his wife Amelia, when Scarlett asks him about his wife, he's like, well, every time we looked at each other, we saw our boy, and so they split. And all I keep seeing is, oh, these two are gonna end up together. Some mad chemistry between them. No, they don't have to end up together because they're just friends. Yeah, okay, really? And they were stationed together and they worked together for 10 years and nothing ever happened? Yeah, right, okay. I've heard a lot of stories of people in the military and similar jobs, and I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but now that he's single and you're single and you both lost your people, there's only one way for this to go, to seek comfort in each other. Just saying, that's the way that these freaking rom-coms would do it. Maybe not a com, but a rom, whatever. So they spend this whole time talking about their feelings, and I still don't care about these people. The only thing that makes me care remotely about them a little tad is because I like Ali and I like Scarlett. Anyways, here comes the annoying part of this movie, because you know, every single time there's a Jurassic World movie, I mean, it's called Rebirth, but yet we have to have a fucking child in the series. Like, why did this become the framework for these movies? Just because the first one had these dumbass children in them that still got hurt, by the way. We have to have these dumbass kids in these movies. There doesn't need to be kids in Jurassic Park movies for kids to want to watch it. Good lord, what is such a hard concept about that? Look at all the superhero movies and shows out there that kids love. There's no kids in there, and people will still watch it. Kids will still watch it. Why do we have to have a piece of shit kid in here? It's so annoying because guess what? Nothing ever happens to them.
Rationing those, honey?
I'm enjoying them.
Long way across the Atlantic. You're gonna miss them when you run out. May I ask why you have so many in your pocket?
So he doesn't eat them.
Ah, right. Hey, honey, where's your boyfriend?
So she's not a kid. Whatever. She's annoying. And the boyfriend is annoying, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Good lord. Sorry, but the little girl character is annoying too. I know I said that ad nauseum. I don't care. I'll repeat it as many times as it bears repeating.
It's his turn at the wheel. Is he coming or what?
I told him. He's just getting dressed.
Okay.
Do you want to practice? All right. Remember, okay, it's just like Dad showed you. Under, around.
Guys ever wish you had a boring dad?
We do.
Yeah.
Finally.
So then this dude comes out, and this movie is starting to head down a really weird path. Not the movie itself, but the franchise, because we already know that it's either these people are going to get completely eaten by a dinosaur, which this fucking nitwit makes us know that nothing's going to happen. At least not to her. So let's push that out of the equation. Or they're going to be integral characters to the story. Now, if they had started out Jurassic Rebirth with just these people, I could probably understand. But yet we have Scarlett Johansson, we have Dr. Loomis, we have the villain guy who I don't really know even at this point why he's called the villain, unless he does something later on to warrant that name, because he's trying to do something nice for humanity. So we're going to have that. We're going to have those people. Oh yeah, and the other people on the boat as well. So Mahershala, well, wait, let's make a little diagram. So we have Scarlett, the mission specialist, Mahershala, her friend, then we have the preliminary characters, or not preliminary, but the, I guess tertiary, is that the word? Characters. We got Ajax with a freaking gun, and then another female character that's along for the ride. Oh yeah, let's not forget the villain guy. You know, the business guy that's leading. Oh wait, I forgot. Loomis, he's also in here. The freaking doctor guy with the glasses, he's there too. So this is our main cast, right? The people who are on the boat. Then we have the other boat, the smaller boat, and we have the father, who is the captain. We now have the stupid boyfriend, who's full of himself, his girlfriend, the older daughter, and the stupid little child. This is our other set of characters. So in all, how many people do we have? Can you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people. Unless I'm missing somebody. So you can see a little bit better. Couldn't see my little boats. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're going to be doing the diagram thing because I need you guys to understand. Sometimes you need a little bit of imagery to understand where things are going. We have all these freaking people in the cast. How many people do you think are going to die off? Anyways, let's continue.
Good evening, Xavier.
What's up?
6 o'clock.
I was out cold.
It's your watch.
Oh, I slept like a baby.
You've got the wheel?
I am so tired. I'm gonna be honest. I'd probably conk out.
The reason I hate this bitch is because she knows this guy is disrespecting her father right in front of her, and she won't say anything about it. She's laughing like it's fucking funny. You should get your teeth fucking kicked in. If anybody talked to my father like that, I've had a situation where one of my exes made the mistake of talking like that to my father. Now, in the moment, I didn't want to say anything. I was trying to give him a chance to hang himself. And this dude was much freaking bigger than me. And I understand. I'm not about putting my hands on people. But when we got to a quiet spot, I did threaten him. And I don't feel bad about it. And I know that he's physically stronger than me. I'm not stupid. I did not care. I yoked him up and I was like, if you ever fucking talk to my father like that again. And you could tell my father was very uncomfortable with it, but he probably didn't want to say anything to me or to him. First of all, because my father's not that kind of person that will just make a scene in front of other people. He'll pull someone to the side and talk to them. And my father's also a really, really, really nice person. But it made me so angry. I was so protective of my daddy. And if anyone messed with me, my father would handle that. So for her to sit here knowing that your father is uncomfortable and you're allowing your piece of shit dick of a boyfriend to disrespect him like that, why would that be funny to you? Like, obviously the guy, well, she's a piece of shit herself. She probably has really bad self-esteem, or she's just a piece of shit human being.
It's fine.
No, honey, we've been through this. You need sleep. I need sleep. It's your shift, Xavier. Come on, man.
Ruben, can we just anchor for once? Use the anchor. We haven't done that yet.
We only carry 50 meters of anchor chain. It's 2,000 meters to the bottom. kind of sounds like somebody should have thought about that before we left. Do you have any idea the weight of this? I bailed this boat, okay, Xavier? I know what I'm doing. Oh, so you're good. You're good on the way. You know.
Wow, she wouldn't even do anything. And the fact that she's sitting there saying, oh, I'll take his ship, these are the same kind of women that are like, men ain't shit, but these are the kind of men that they choose. Then when they're adults, they're wondering, why doesn't he help me with the kids? Why doesn't he do this? I feel so alone. He doesn't care about me or affirm me or validate my grievances as a woman. He doesn't respect me. You chose him. You disrespected yourself by choosing a bum as a boyfriend. Like, that says a lot about you, to be honest, since you're also staying with him. And it's one thing for him to mistreat you. I get it. Dick can be intoxicating. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite because I've been in the same situation too. But there's a difference between letting a guy mistreat you or looking past the flaws and then letting him mistreat your family. Very, very big difference there. Like, you can do whatever you want to me. I'm allowing that. I'm consenting clearly because I'm an idiot. But you talking to my father like this and being a piece of shit? No. No. No.
Just grab another hour. I'm fine.
Yes.
I got it. Perfect. I'm fine.
You're the best. This month, give me some lemon. Oh, you got licorice, dude? I love this stuff.
Literally stole candy from a freaking baby. The guy's a piece of shit, but the woman, the older sister, she's way worse. I hate her. I hate her with a passion. And I don't like the father either. And we're gonna see why, because he's not any better, and we understand why he's in this situation, because he's a pissant. He really created this whole situation. Why did you even allow the girl to take her boyfriend along? It was supposed to be a family event, and you're a pushover. You caused this. You don't respect yourself either.
I didn't say a word. Not one word.
Good.
Good? Bitch! Oh my god, I fucking hate this one. I forgot how badly I hated this character when I saw this movie. I wanted to drop kick her off the fucking boat. Go swim with the fishes. Good lord, she's annoying. What in the world? This is why people don't respect feminism. That's why people don't respect women. Because you have freaking dogs like this representing what women are, which they're not. Or what they shouldn't be. Good lord, you're disgusting.
So don't.
Did he even bring a shirt?
Okay, clearly, you don't see the side of him that I see.
Yeah, because his dick is not all the way down my fucking throat and up my ass like it is yours, you freaking whore. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. I'm sure if half these parents said what they really wanted to say, the kids would be traumatized. And then you're showing, this is this example that you're setting for your little sister. That's the worst part about all of this. Her little sister is there, and you're basically influencing her and showing her an example of the kind of men that she should go after. Look at how this person's a piece of shit, how he treats my family, how he treats you as my little sister, how he treats my father, how he treats me. I mean, this guy didn't even stand up for this woman when she said, I'll take his shift. He didn't even say, no, babe, it's okay, I'll take the shift. No, everyone just does everything for me, just mooches off of everyone, and that is the example that you were setting for your little sister.
The naked smile.
Hey,
Yeah, I guess I'd hope it would just be the three of us. You know, one last hurrah.
I'm going to NYU, not Mongolia.
I know, you're right.
Ugh, get her face out of here. Disgusting. I don't get it with American offspring, why they have to act so bratty. That was one hell of a culture shock for me when I moved here, watching all these freaking Western movies and seeing how bratty, first of all, women were to their men and how children were to their parents. That's crazy. Like, half the time I see what kids are talking about, and even when I moved to my schools, and one girl telling me she straight up got into a fist fight with her mom and my mouth was on the floor because I didn't see in what world you could do something like that to your mother and walk out unscathed. But anyway, the piece of shit sister sees something, and there are these things with sails in the water. Then something knocks into the boat, and oh my god, I've never wanted a family be eaten so much. Whatever it is, please capsize the boat and eat them. All of them, I don't care.
Left, left, left. Something big sideswiped us.
Sailfish?
Bigger.
Is it the you-know-what?
No, hon, it's not a you-know-what. Barely any left.
I hate those things. I wish they never came back.
I'm sure they hate you too, especially since they can't kill you in Jurassic Park movies. Must be very infuriating. The feeling's mutual. Then we get the mosasaur. Yes, fucking die. Please, drown them. Oh my god, please. So their boat gets capsized, they're dumbasses. And they're like, oh no, Xavier's still inside. Yay. Yes, yes. Clap for, whatever. Maybe if he wasn't such a freaking bum, you wouldn't be in there. Anyway, he tells Xavier to grab the bag and the radio so they can call for help. And we think Xavier's gonna die. I know he's not. Then he gets hit with the pole when he's trying to swim up. But it's okay, he'll be fine. Meanwhile, this bitch over here is screaming. I don't know her name. I don't know any of their names, and I honestly don't care. That's how bloated this cast is. These people are going to become part of the main cast. But will they die? No, I already know they're not going to die because the little imp is with them. Oh my god, Xavier, please! What will I ever do without your peen? Her father tries to save him. She cares less about her father than she does Xavier. But don't worry, he pops up because of course he does. I'm expecting the dinosaur to like chomp him in half or something, or just pull him under the water. You don't even have to be graphic with it. You want this to be family friendly, whatever. But let there be some kind of death. Oh no, he makes it up completely unscathed because of course he does. Meanwhile, we got these people. Oh shit, I forgot. There's one more person. Whoops. How could I forget? Oh lord. Okay, sorry. Okay, we got the freaking French guy. Yep. My bad. So there he is. So there are not 10 people. There are actually 11 people. Wait. 11, 12, 14. Wait, that's French, is it? No, that's not French. That is Spanish. 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that is Spanish. Okay. 11. There's 11 people. That was my mistake. So it turns out our friend over here was crying and bonding with her quirky civilian. And basically it's him telling her, you're such a badass because I've never been shot at, but you have. You're kind of awesome. And then she's like, I should go because you're being really weird. Are you ready for some action? We are 35 minutes in the movie and the most action we got was that piss-ass family and their boat getting capsized and that was it. But now we're going to get to the real meat of things. And for some reason, this guy speaks French or Creole or whatever. He can understand English, but always speaks in French. And Duncan can understand him, but nobody else can. Which if you're going on a journey where survival is paramount, you would think it would be important for you to know how to communicate with people. But anyway, they start getting a signal for help from that stupid family. Now there's a debate between all of them where they have to either answer the call, but they're on a mission. They're like, we can't go there to rescue, or at least this guy's saying that. And she says, we can't leave them, bye-bye. We've got to help those people. His idea is we can go and do what we're doing, get the sample since we're closer here, and then they can just wait a little while and we'll come back to get them. They're literally 3 minutes away. So I can kind of understand where he's coming from, but her argument is that the mosasaur is tagged, so they'll find it again. And I like how throughout this entire movie, whenever they need something to be convenient, it is eerily so. Mosasaur is tagged, but yet it never stays deep in the water when they need. You'll see. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And after that, you won't really deny how badly written this movie is and how everything is barely an inconvenience. So Duncan makes the call since it's his ship, and they agree because they have no choice to rescue the stupid-ass family first. And I like how when these people get rescued, they act so freaking entitled.
Bigger, 50 feet, 70 up. I don't know. It's a snake-like body. The large skull and a long snout.
Yes, yes.
Limbs like paddles.
Yes, yes.
A long tail region with a down curved end.
Look, man, that's what it is. What else could it be? What the hell are you doing this far out with a little kid?
Do you see the attitude on that bitch? But anyway, Duncan is a little bit more hyper-protective when it comes to children because he lost his child. That's supposed to be his whole motivation for everything and the way he acts around this guy with the kid, which is funny because it's a good question for him to ask his father since this whole region is supposed to be cut off from people traveling there. And I'm sure this guy knows that, yet he still put his children in danger by coming here. Interesting.
Making a crossing, Barbados to Cape Town. We've done it before.
Shouldn't they be in school?
They are. It's summer break. Well, what is your problem?
The problem is you should have known better.
How? There are 50,000 boats on this ocean right now. One was attacked by a mosasaur. What are the odds?
Duncan, let it go, okay? You know you're not pissed off at him, okay? These kids are safe now. Right? I don't understand. Why would a mosasaur attack a 45-foot sailboat? It's not food.
Maybe it thought the boat was a rival, and it wanted to eliminate any competition.
Or maybe it's sick and tired of all these humans in this dumbass franchise that can't be killed, apparently, if they're on the good side of whatever it is they're going for. It's annoying. So anyway, dude is like, let's get the mission back on track. And of course, the father's upset about this.
Exactly what are you guys doing here?
I know this ugly bitch isn't asking, with that attitude, what they're doing here. What do you mean, what are they doing? What are you doing here? How are you gonna ask another fucking boat that just rescued you and your family from death what they're doing here in this neck of the woods? The ocean is so large. There's more water on the earth than there is land surface-wise. And you're asking them that when you guys are crossing into an illegal space? You are as well. So how could she be that hypocritical? God, if you couldn't hate this character anymore, and you know what? You'd think that you're gonna pay off with some of these characters with them getting eaten by dinosaurs, but can you guess what's gonna happen? Absolutely zilch.
Hey, that guy?
Hey, excuse me.
Creep me out. What'd I do?
Honestly, you creep everybody else out. You're the only one here that looks like a homeless person.
Can you get the tracking map up, please?
All right, look, we understand you've got your own business, and I'm very grateful to you.
Really? No one could tell. Anyway, they can kill two birds with one stone because they saved these people, and now the Mosasaur has found them. Family's the one that got themselves in that situation, so whoop-de-doo, now they're gonna have to be along for the ride. And since they're trying to get the injection, or they're trying to get the medicine or draw blood from this thing, you're gonna have to do this quickly, right, Miss Ba? Because the creature will dive back down into the water. I love how, for this entire segment, the thing is always staying right by the surface so that it can be easily accessed. And I swear to you, it doesn't dive until they have got the blood. Once they retrieve the blood sample, that's when the thing is like, oh, you've accomplished your mission. Now I'm gonna dive back into the depths away from your boat. Just in time, and there you go. Mission complete. Mission complete! I swear, I expect that in bold letters to just flash across the screen. How stupid this freaking is. Oh my fucking god. I'm sorry.
Hey, what if we don't?
What if we don't what?
Well, what if we get the samples and we don't give them over to a company that makes a life-saving drug and then prices it so 99% of the planet can't afford it? Science is for all of us, not some of us. Have you thought about that?
Well, I guess I haven't.
Well, then maybe you should start.
Maybe you should shut the fuck up. So let's unpack this for a little bit, right? If Zora were to do that, first of all, that's stealing. This was literally her job. It was a very dangerous job that involved massive creatures. She's literally almost died to do this. This guy didn't have any risk to his life. She did. Like, she didn't randomly stumble upon the DNA sample in her backyard. She was contracted to retrieve it. She agreed. So now this Loomis dude is like, oh, just don't deliver what you were paid for that you almost lost your life to get. Just give it to the public instead. That is theft. Not only would she be breaching contract, but she'd also be stealing from the guy who's financing this whole expedition. If science is for everyone, go do this yourself. Don't use the rich guy's money to then go get something that you wouldn't have been able to do and that you didn't even think about doing for the first place. You didn't have the motivation to do this or save lives. Once you can recreate that with your own motivation, your own hands, then you go do it. I like when people who are rich or that have the money or they save the money, they build something for themselves. They're like, you know what, I'm going to change the world and make something. And people are like, you know, all the people that are starving, not like them doing all of this is going to create jobs for other people. Go do it yourself. People are starving. Homeless people are starving. Go bring one into your house and feed them. No one's stopping you from feeding them. That is crazy. The other thing that's annoying about this guy is that he's acting as though the scientists are this unified team of angels that are ready to bestow their grace upon humanity and selflessly develop and distribute a drug overnight. That's not how drug development works. You don't just drop a dinosaur blood vial in a cooler at a university and be like, okay, we can just do this. It takes billions of dollars to research and test and synthesize and run trials, and even with that, they were still having issues, which the guy said at the beginning of the movie. And then to get the FDA or whatever this universe's equivalent to that is to approve it, you need all of that. The scientists are going to need labs, equipment, staff, motivation, first of all. If people are already losing interest in dinosaurs, the scientists could have already been on this route to do this and they chose not to. And more importantly, let's say they did develop the drug. Who the hell is funding the manufacturing and who is covering the cost of the worldwide distribution? I promise you it's not the little team of scientists that you think it is, or the public and people who don't care about this shit. Nobody's out here making life-saving drugs for free at scale, even if they want to. And look, I get where this guy's coming from because I used to have the same perspective until reality hit me in the freaking face. His whole, oh, share it with the world perspective assumes that sharing a discovery equals everyone benefits. That's not true. Even if the sample is public domain, the process of transforming it or synthesizing or doing whatever you need to do to make it into a drug is always going to be in the hands of whoever can afford the R&D. And you're assuming that the public, they're all going to be altruistic little angels who want to share with everyone, and there's not going to be any corruption whatsoever in human beings. If everyone has access and nobody can afford to produce or distribute the medication, guess what, Dr. Loomis? It's not gonna exist. His heart is in the right place, but you are too much of a big-ass adult to be this freaking naive. And honestly, selfish. Anyway, the family is freaking out, and the little girl's like, I'm gonna be sick. Nobody fucking cares. Piece of shit woman over here is like, oh no, we've got company. And that's when we get the Spinos circling the area, because apparently they're working with the Mosasaurus. The Mosasaurus was like, yes, those are the guys that stabbed me, and I could barely feel it, but still, they made me stay on the surface against my will for some fucking reason. And the Spinos are saying to him, we got you, boss.
Bobby, look out!
Of course he gets killed. Of course he gets killed. Whatever was the clue that he was gonna get killed first. I wonder. But you see how easy it was for him to get killed? I want you to keep this in mind going forward. Why didn't you do that before when they were harassing you? You needed the Spinosauruses to do this for you? But did you need the moral support, little Mosey? Very odd timing. But anyway. God damn it. Why don't they have aim when it comes to children? You could have stood on the boat, just like you did with Bobby, to get her, and you chose not to, whatever. Anyway, we see that the father crinked his knee, and they have no choice but to go through the checkerboard of islands. Meanwhile, the Mosasaurus is still following them pell-mell. The boat is damaged, and of course, the older daughter is told to go and call for Mayday, but the business guy's like, don't do that. And she's like, why are you touching me? He's like, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. So he tries to stop her because they are in illegal waters, and she got herself pushed over the boat. He didn't push her. She pushed him. But because he's heavier, she ended up pushing herself back off the boat, and she's hanging off there like freaking Mufasa.
Brother, help me!
Long live the king.
And of course, she's calling, help me, please! Oh my god! And I do not feel one iota of sadness for her. Kick that bitch over. I'm sorry. I know that in reality it would be a human being and whatever, but these are characters in a fucking stupid movie that's written really badly. Kick that bitch overboard. I'm sorry. Natural selection and all that jazz. You were meant to be sacrificed to the creatures, clearly. You did that to yourself. So, of course, the father's like, oh no, my child, and who jumps in to go save her? Fucking Bumboy does, not the father. That's not even his first, like, my father wouldn't even have had time to breathe in before he was over the railing trying to save me. But the boyfriend did, not the dad. Crazy. And that makes me wonder if the father even wanted to save her. He just watched her float by and he was like, oh my god, 'tis a shame. It was like, well, one less thing to worry about. Then the boyfriend went and he was like, god damn it, I gotta pretend I care now. Oh no, honey, are you okay? That dad did not want to save that daughter. He was done. He was like, this is a mistake. She cannot be my biological child. It is what it is. Just gotta tell her mom something egregious happened. It wasn't my fault. Someone else killed her. It is what it is. So anyway, he tells the little one, look, the boat's gonna crash. Your sister's there. We gotta go after your sister. But I'm here, okay? Don't worry, even though I got you in this situation by going into a region that I knew was illegal to travel through. And I've made a habit of it, honey. So everyone has to abandon the boat, but Ollie stays with the boat because he's the Capitan. It's way too shallow over here, so of course the Mosasaur has to turn back, and dude has to end up scuttling the boat. So now they're stranded. Meanwhile, the family is kind of separated. Album, don't know his name, don't care. The boyfriend guy, Novio, tries to see if she's okay. She says, that guy tried to kill me. He let me fall. He didn't try to kill you. He just didn't help you. There's a difference. If I see someone raising their head up and then they didn't come save me, they didn't kill me, did they? They just let nature take its course. Could they have helped? Yes, but can I say they tried to kill me? No, that's dishonest. But what else can I expect from someone like this? Anyway, the father catches back up to her and he has to pretend he cares because she's here now and she's still alive. God damn it. So now the movie is going to transform into one of those movies where they're always cutting back and forth between two different people or groups of people. And I understand if they do it for a short amount of time, but they're going to do it for the majority of this movie, which is going to make it very exhausting because the family did not need to be a part of this. But anyway, one thing I will give this movie is that, like this scene right here where the Spinosaurus was camouflaging with the rocks, it does have these scenes that let you believe at this moment in time, okay, I was kind of annoyed, but the movie might actually be good. And we see this girl die, which doesn't count because we didn't even know who she was. I don't even know if she had any talking lines. She was just some rando. And everyone's screaming her name. What's her name again? Nina. There you go. Child. Well, she's gone. Oh well. Continuing on. Since they're here, they might as well, you know, get the samples. Father's knee is kind of out of sorts, so he has to move slower. Is that going to be an issue? No. They got to make it through the jungle. And now the person who gets the most growth through all of this is honestly El Novio. I like what they do there. In this situation, he probably exists better out in the wild as a caveman because he literally has the IQ of one, which works really well in the wilderness setting because when it comes to protecting his woman, he's really good at that, which I don't know if it's saying much because most men are like that. So here's where the next annoyance comes. He starts telling them about what this island was. And this is where I'm like, wow, is this going to be a kick-ass movie?
Look, dinosaurs are dinosaurs. What difference does it make?
Okay, fine, don't tell us. We can just leave it here. It's fine.
So this island was a laboratory of sorts. They conducted experimental work here.
What kind of experiments?
Crossbreeding of species. The theme park owners were just responding to what the audience wanted. They were tired of looking at the same old thing. Engineered entertainments, they call them.
Genetically altered freaks?
Yeah, and you don't want to do that in the middle of a theme park, do you?
Ideally, you don't try weird genetic shit at all.
Well, they learned that the hard way. Any that were malformed or just too damn hard for anybody to look at, they left them here.
Well, that's inhuman. Why not just euthanize them?
The average cost of a created species is $72 million. What would you...
So he basically says the worst of the worst dinosaurs are on this island. They're genetically horrifying to look at. They're dangerous. That's what they're setting up for this movie. That's what we're to expect. So you're thinking we're going to be on for a very wild ride. We're going to see some really horrific things. At the very least, they put us back in a situation where the dinosaurs are in the wild, and we're going to see humans out of their element, and instead now in the dinosaurs' element.
Can we please just hurry this along?
Everybody, please stay cool. Our situation hasn't changed.
2 of our friends just died. Clearly, the situation's changed quite a bit.
Yes, and that's horrible. But this is where we are now. Desperate, and that's not any different than before. We're all desperate to begin with, otherwise we wouldn't have come. Right? You specialize in a subject nobody cares about anymore. You're about to be out of a job. You need this. I want the money. You want the money. Your company wants all the money. We still have that case.
So you hear what she said. Her motivation is that she wants the money. They all want the money. Or they're desperate. It's not that she wants the money. She's obviously desperate for the money. Which means that people must be in a bunch of debt. I don't know how they accrued all that money doing the mercenary jobs and didn't save any of that money, but whatever, after taxes, that's going to be one hell of a haul-in. Especially since people died for this and you've risked your life already for this. It better be worth something. So with that in line, with knowing that she has a motivation for this and everybody's desperate, I want you to keep that nugget in the back of your back. In the back of your mind.
We never did. I mean, not really. We had a few toys that would have made us feel better. They could have worked or not. Or where we're supposed to be. We know what we're supposed to do. Let's get what we need and get out.
Those kids, the people who went to the ocean, they could still be alive. I say we find them first and then we get out. Get out how?
Why did she have to clip the wires?
Get what we need. We never did.
What? Those wires are keeping things from going in or out for the most part. Maybe you can even drag the stuff that you have under there, but oh well, whatever. That's a nitpick. Just annoying. You could have just gone in. Oh, there goes the foreshadowing how dangerous this place is going to be. It's going to be like freaking King Kong.
Let's go through the spies from Hot Springs.
We must lead to the village.
So the family's idea is to get to the village. Then this woman is just about the guy who tried to kill me. I will get that son of a bitch. He didn't try to kill you, dumbass. He didn't push you over the boat. You pushed yourself over the boat. He just didn't help you. It's not the same thing as trying to kill you, dumbass.
Maybe you should chill here, huh? You don't smoke. You do smoke?
Okay. Dad, he's clearly messing with you.
No, I think you're just too stupid to catch on how dumb and tactless your poor excuse of a boyfriend is. This is clearly the time to mess with people, having seen people ripped to shreds and being stranded. Yes, totally the time. This is the same woman I imagine that if she were to get married to that guy and he did the same thing to her, she would get irate to the point where she'd want to freaking kill him because he's not taking her seriously. I almost wish that she will end up with that guy. I want so badly for them to have a miserable ending together so she can experience all of what she was defending from this person.
Ooh. Be careful where you step. Something just moved past my leg. Hey, you want to tell me how the girl fell over the rail?
The thing, the boat, you were there.
So were you on the bridge next to her, so there's nothing you could do?
What are you implying?
It never once occurred to Zora that maybe he hit his head as well. The boat was rocking a lot. Why couldn't you do something? Yeah, he was right next to her or whatever, but people were right next to you flopping around on the boat as well. Why couldn't you help them? Oh, maybe because your footing was lost and you were fighting for your life. Contrivances.
I'm too smart to die.
You know intelligence is massively overrated as an adaptive trait.
Oh, yeah?
Seriously.
Enlighten us.
Dinosaurs, pretty dumb, right? And yet they survived for 160...
This dude needs to seriously be quiet. I didn't think I would have to say this, but he is so unlikable. Also, this prick, Dr. Loomis, is extremely hypocritical because he passionately claims that, oh, killing a dinosaur is a sin.
Part where you tell me it's a crime to kill a dinosaur, Doctor.
No, this is where I tell you it's a sin to kill a dinosaur.
Few moments later.
Well, that's inhuman. Why not just euthanize him?
Huh?
Make up your mind.
So he positions himself as his holier-than-thou voice of morality, yet the moment he hears that some dinosaurs were kept alive despite imperfections because it's not their fault, his first go-to is, but why weren't they euthanized? Why didn't you kill them? Really? Contradiction much? It exposes that his so-called principles are all flexy-wexy depending on the situation, and it proves that deep down, even he defaults to the whole utilitarian thinking when it suits his narrative.
Hold on, don't we rule the Earth? We gotta be doing something, right?
We don't rule the Earth. We just think we do. And sure, we're changing the environment, but that makes us the ones to worry about, not the planet. When the Earth gets tired of us, believe me, it will shake us off like a summer cold.
Like I imagine all your previous women partners did to you, because you cannot be an easy person to live with.
Of all species that have existed on Earth, 99.9% of them are now extinct. Survival is a long shot.
You hear that? Every day could be your last.
Every day could be your last as well, Zora Bennett. Seriously, is it just me? Why is this woman so unprofessional? This man is paying her, and yet she's treating him as though he's the one doing her a favor. Also, we never get to see what this freaking eel thing is in the water. For how much they played up this island that shouldn't exist, by the way, because yet it is another island that wasn't mentioned in the lore, even though they already established how many islands there were in the first movies. You'd think that we get a scene similar to the one in the Peter Jackson's King Kong. Still, one of my favorite movies. And in this movie, it was a perfect opportunity to do so. But nope, this place is basically a walking simulator for the majority of the runtime of this stupid film. Don't ask me what that thing was, I don't know, and we never will find out. I promise you, it never happens. As much as I can't stand the kid character in this movie, I have to admit she nails emotional expressions, especially fear. Honestly, if they ever cast her in her own movie where she's like the lead and it's a serious horror film, she'd probably do really well. I mean, that would be great since this is a movie that was supposed to be a horror, but it's anything but anyway. So any whoosies, any waysies, we're introduced to this Aqualops thing, which the annoying zucchini bread-faced big sister ends up chasing away, and I'm thinking this is gonna be a perfect horror fest. There's supposed to be mutant dinosaurs on this island that weren't good enough or safe enough to take to the other park, right? I mean, they're called mutants for a reason. The way they marketed this movie is, hey guys, mutant things equals scary. Aberrations, abominations. That's usually what happens in the Jurassic Park franchise. So even though this thing is very unsuspecting, it's definitely going to have a face that opens up, or there's going to be a pack of them that come after the family, and this is a foreshadowing for that, right? Since this is supposed to be a horror movie, and since people who were praising this movie before it even came out claimed that it was a return to form and almost as scary as the first one. Right? Let's see if that's what takes place.
You jumped in after her.
Yeah.
Respect for that.
Whatever, Guapo.
Are they supposed to make it seem as though Xavier is, or what's his name? Xavier, I guess, is like some unsuspecting person who is so stupid that he's wise kind of situation. You know those movies I'm talking about, right? Like, oh my god, the stupider they act is the wiser they are, and people worship them because the people that are worshiping them are just as stupid as they are. But that's not what I'm getting from this. So if that's what they're attempting to do, they're failing at it. And I'm sorry, the father is just as annoying as the rest of them. Freaking discount Dollar Tree Pedro Pascal, and that's already not saying much. Bro should have been the one to jump in after his daughter. But look at this scene, okay? Also, it bears repeating. This woman is like, get off of me! push, and then she shoved herself over. This guy kind of had the wind knocked out of him. He was like, oh, look. Oh, no, you're about to fall. And those dinosaurs are out there that grab people off the boat. Even if he could have saved her, I could understand in that moment if he didn't want to because he was scared shitless, because he just saw the Spinosauruses grab people that were standing closer near the inside of the boat. Sorry, not sorry. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I'll get on that later. The bitch falls over. You see her fall in the water. Sorry, I keep doing that. But the father sees her and is like, oh my God, honey, whatever the hell her name is, I don't care. Honey, come back. Like he expects her to just be like, okay, Dad, I got you, and levitate from out of the water and end up back on the boat. Look, I could understand if it was just a matter of it being water and he was thinking, oh, I could just go after my daughter a little bit later, but there were literally man-eating dinosaurs after them, and he's just calling out to her like he can't swim. Can he not swim? Yes, he can, because we see that he can several times. And it's not like she had one of those floaty devices either. But look at him. It's almost like it never occurred to him as the father to do that. But the father respects Xavier. This is so badly written. They did this specifically. No father would act like, oh, let me stay on board. But the father now respects the Xavier guy because at the very least, the bum was like, nah, I gotta save the only bit of punani that he knows he's gonna have if he makes it out of the situation long enough for them to find some land until they can get help. Honestly, I wonder if the little girl had fallen over, if the bum guy would have gone to save her. Probably not. Look at the determination on his face. Shit, I'm not gonna be able to get my dick wet for a few while. I mean, there's nobody else here I can do it with, and I'm not doing it to her pops. That'd be weird. That was his one driving motivation. I can guarantee you if it was a licorice eating little shit right here, he wouldn't be that motivated. I mean, I hope not, because then we'd have other issues.
Hard to like, honey.
Yeah, took me a minute too.
What is a minute for you? Like 30 seconds? Half a second? I don't know. Something tells me it didn't take her very long, judging by how little intelligence or self-respect she seems to have. Not to mention the complete disregard she shows for her own family, but that's just me. As for the father, I honestly don't know why he even opened his mouth with his ungrateful ass. Like him or not, the man saved your daughter's life. He risked his own to do it. And for that alone, maybe keep your damn mouth shut, because to be honest, as I've said before, you didn't jump in after her. You had time. You saw her fall in, and you just stood there. I mean, tweaked knee or not, adrenaline kicks in when your child is in danger. Any decent parent would move mountains, tear ligaments, and swim through fire to save their kid. You just froze or chose not to save her. And we see him shortly after wasting precious time, and he's like, you know what? It's fine. Your sister's out there, so let's go in the water. But something tells me he didn't give two shits about her. Then again, because of how unlikable her character is, I can't really blame him.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Like going that way, though.
Once again, they missed a perfect opportunity to deliver an intense and thrilling scene. Dinosaurs terrorizing people, actual danger, real stakes. Nope. That they're allergic to this apparently. Instead, we get this like half-baked, really lazy moment where we hear the dinosaur get spooked off screen, then the guy cracks a joke like he's never heard of fear or self-preservation, like it's completely alien to these characters. Ha ha, everyone laugh, it's a comedy now, isn't that funny? Nudge nudge, elbow elbow, like who cares about suspense or horror? Don't expect tension, it's not that kind of movie, but it is a horror, it's funny, remember?
Confusing.
Two species. Titanosaur and Quetzalcoatlus. An 11-ton sauropod and a pterosaur the size of a school bus with 30-foot wings.
One of those little buses like the field trips? Or the full thing?
Does it matter?
This is so corny. And it's clearly just exposition for the sake of hand-holding and spoon-feeding and throat-sliding. Like, they know 6-year-olds are the main audience now. It's that kindergarten-level storytelling where they repeat the same lines over and over just in case the kids forget or they're skipping through the movie. Because apparently, in case you've missed it, that's who this franchise is for nowadays. Oh, wait, look! A helicopter was here before and it's smashed to pieces. And the guy is holding the gun, so of course, our plucky, handsome villain guy is gonna take it, because why wouldn't you? The thing is, and please tell me if I'm wrong, Maybe I am, but apparently corrosion and wear and tear don't work in Jurassic Park movies. And the thing is, the poor fans are bending over backwards trying to explain why this could be the case, why a car sitting there for 22 years would still be able to work and all the components are fresh and clean and the oil is good and the fuel's good. To the point where people are just tired of it. But still, you can't blame people for asking those questions if you're supposed to suspend disbelief. Now we have the situation where this piece has been hanging out in the jungle for over a decade, I'm assuming. Unfired, unmaintained, unprotected. The chances of it still working are probably very unlikely. You got extreme humidity, rain, and heat. Now, I'm no expert, and of course, I leave the possibility that I could be very wrong, but wouldn't the gun be very rusty and heavily corroded, especially since the internal parts and the slide and the pin and everything needs to be perfectly maintained for everything to work smoothly? And the thing is, even if the gun looks okay, wouldn't, the ammo be dangerous to fire unless they're foreshadowing it blowing up in his hand or something? I could be wrong. See what I mean? It's really annoying because the constant cutting back and forth between the dumb family, Scarlett Johansson's character, this dude, the villain dude, Duncan, the paleo guy, and whoever else just kills the pacing. Every time something starts to build tension or gets kind of interesting, the movie yanks you out of it to check in on some other side character doing something irrelevant or cliche. And it feels like we're watching 5 different uninteresting subplots and they're all fighting for screen time, like this is a tournament for Super Smash Brothers, instead of having one solid narrative. For crying out loud, we don't get to stay in a moment long enough to even care. No suspense gets to breathe, no character gets proper development, and it just starts to feel like this movie is scrambling to try and keep our attention by throwing everything that it possibly can at the wall instead of letting one storyline unfold naturally. And even when they try doing that, it still feels like nothing is happening for the majority of the movie. Oh, but because the children... Look, whatever, sure. If the Jurassic Park franchise wants to pivot and become a cartoonish dino adventure for 6-year-olds who still sniff and eat glue simultaneously, then fine, just say that. Market it honestly. Don't insult the audience by claiming it's a return to form, or that it captures the horror and suspense of the original, because that's a flat-out fish-fucking lie. And these people say this as though they think that the audience isn't going to eventually see the film. The first film was smart, tense, and it respected its viewers. Now you've got scenes written like they're aimed at kids with the attention span of a dying bacterium up someone's ass who already has developmental issues. Stand there! Stand, you guys! Talk to the hand! Watch it! React? Then don't react! What sorcery is this? I'm so wet! If you're gonna dumb it down to that level, at least be transparent about it. Don't bait longtime fans with nostalgia and member berries and then deliver something that should have never ended up on the screen, much less a theater.
It's okay.
Oh my god, guys, remember how he's sleeping with the kid? Remember Alan Grant and Lex and Tim and the 2 kids all snuggled up in the dark up to the tree band? They were sleeping, remember?
You get some more sleep while I take it for a while.
Oh, no. I'm okay.
I know you're okay, but it's my watch.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Aw, how sweet. Look who's growing up. See, Xavier actually starts to become a little bit likable as a person, or at least that's the way they start building him up, and for that reason, he's the only person who seems to get any kind of character development, and it feels sort of kind of realistic. And then we're supposed to have a heart-to-heart in the scene, which is supposed to be cute, but the father just comes off like a dumbass.
No, I was wrong about you.
No, you're right. I'm lazy as hell.
She might be alive because of what you did.
I don't even know why she wants to be with me.
Well, she sees who you are.
Thank God she doesn't.
So this is supposed to be all sweet, right? But I don't see it working long term. It's not what she sees in you per se, it's what she sees about you. You see, us women have this superpower. We're able to put our heads in the sand and leave them buried really deep all up there when the guy is attractive and he dicks us down real good, right? I mean, it's kind of the guy's superpower, but it's amazing. It is truly world-breakingly amazing the level of red flags and flaws that we're willing to overlook and turn a blind eye to, even when we know they're issues, just to get some internal stroking on the regular. Men do this too with crazy women. As a matter of fact, they will hurt you and frustrate you. But the thing is that when you do have the good times, it's like 100% more passionate because of all the stress. Then it's like an endorphin release because you remember that, you know, oh, this is what I liked about the person in the first place, their personality, their charm, and then the icing on top of the cake, their ability to fill you up to overflowing every time you pull up to the gas station and they leave their nozzle in there. Then if you're lucky, there'll be a spark and then an explosion and then you both die and it's all worth it. I think that's what's happening with this woman, even though we all know we can see it happening and it's an issue. And even the guy Xavier knows it. And a guy like this who likes instant gratification, who's not accountable to anyone and just lives in the moment, I promise you, this bitch is not the only woman he's doing this to. She might not realize it yet, but there will come a time, if it hasn't happened yet, already I mean, where he'll have a bunch of other concubines in his bed, and she'll find out about it, and you guess what will happen? She'll stay. She'll be one of those dumb idiots that will go and fight those other women that are just as much moss to the flame as she is, instead of actually dumping him or holding him accountable, and we know that's what she's going to do, because she's already told everyone that's what she's about to do through her behavior.
Hey. Other people may talk shit about us, but we don't have to do the job for them. Otherwise it becomes true.
Well, I gotta take a piss.
Who the hell is us? Who is us? Men? Latinos? Like, what is he talking about here? And this father is such a freaking hypocrite, because you're one of the people talking shit about him. Why are you all of a sudden acting as though you were in his corner this whole time? Look at his dumbass. And I'm sorry, this father coming out and saying that comes off as so pretentious and fake. I know that was like redundant saying that, but I just needed to hammer it home. Maybe it's the way he delivered the lines or something, but I think even the lazy guy realizes the dad's full of shit. Also, the dude was straight up owning his mistakes and issues, and instead of you having respect for him and saying, yeah, you're lazy and it's good that you held yourself accountable, you don't always have to be that way, and you sure didn't act that way when it came to stepping up to the plate. No, instead you tell him to not talk shit about himself. But he wasn't, though. He was holding himself accountable, which is what you wanted him to do in the first place. So, pretty confusing. And people like this come off as very fake and extremely weird and untrustworthy. So, remember the little dinosaur? Remember that one I was talking about? Yeah, this little thing comes back, and guess what, guys? Just for the kids, we're gonna have the dinosaur be friends with the little girl. And so she's gonna be like, come here, little puppy, and she's gonna throw candy at it, and it's gonna come to her just like a dog, and like, come here, I'm just gonna tame it just because, and she calls it over just like a dog, and it comes and listens, and there's no horror stuff going on here, it just becomes her pet, and it's completely tame and okay with sleeping right freaking next to her. Seriously, fuck all the way off. If the stupid-ass child wasn't in this movie, we wouldn't have that. I don't see why that was needed in the movie, in this particular movie that's supposedly a horror. What would even be the reason for the dinosaur to be this tame and to know how to follow commands and all this bullshit? And the only way that this even remotely makes any sense is if the little girl is like really traumatized and this is her mind's way of trying to fix the trauma of creating an imaginary friend in the form of a small little dinosaur that she can carry around in her bag that can teleport to her location when she needs it from across really large rivers and miles away where it wouldn't have known her location in the first place. That's the only way this makes sense. You're gonna see in the rest of the movie, by the way, where I'm going with this, and you tell me, because I strongly think that's the theory here. You tell me if you think this dinosaur is real, because I swear that's the only way that this writing makes sense. Anyway, we cut to Xavier going to relieve himself, and just like in pure Jurassic form, he has to go and move quite some distance away from everyone just to pee. You know that there are man-eating dinosaurs everywhere, but yet you decide as a man to go as far away as possible just so you can drain the lizard. I can understand if he was going away to jerk it or something, but even with our guy Dieter from Jurassic Park, The Lost World, he moved so far away just to drain it, and it was not necessary. Then he got eaten and paralyzed and whatnot. Unless your genitals are the size of Texas, what would be the reason to travel all the way to the next county just to take a piss? For those of you who don't know, this is a velociraptor, a Jurassic Park's version of the velociraptor. Are we gonna see something actually happen? Now we're rubbing our hands, right? Because finally we get one of the main characters who's gonna bite the dust, like every horror movie in true horror fashion. And that is the extent at which we see the velociraptors in this movie. And our boy stays exactly in the same spot and continues his job because he's terrified. Right. This is... voila. That's... wow. That was so funny. Nothing happens to this character, by the way. Another wasted opportunity for a horror scene, and you know, them being hunted. Oh no, that's too much to ask for. I swear, the people writing this are using some kind of chatbot with maximum security level moderation, right? You know those chatbots where you want to have a conversation with them, like, we can't do that, it violates the policies. Yes, but I want to talk how sad I was. Oh my god, my boyfriend kicked me in the vag today. Sorry, we can't talk about that. Like, I can't talk to my parents about it. Nope, that violates or... That's kind of what this feels like. Like, someone decided to give this thing a script to write, and it was like, it can't be too scary though, because I can't write stuff that's a danger to other people, so I'm trying to keep under control, man. Like, just relax. It's not that serious. Like, not before long, I swear, in the next, like, 10 years, watch, the United States is gonna become China, and you won't be able to even show blood, and it will just be white stuff all over everyone in the most unusual and inappropriate settings.
How much further?
Not far. The Titanosaur herd should be right across this valley.
They're herbivores, right?
Yeah,
That's good.
but the things that hunt them aren't.
Oh, great.
Shh, quiet.
So you would think that in video game style, you know, that that these characters and the scene, you know, it's gonna be laced with danger, right? Them trying to acquire the DNA samples, right? They're going into the long grass, which is something they shouldn't be doing.
Not into the long grass!
We're told that the things that hunt the things that they're going after are not peaceful. We're told that this island is chock full of mutants, that apparently were too ugly or horrific for the main park, and so far the only thing I've seen is the Pteranodon, a raptor hybrid hunting thing, and hunting the other raptors, the T-Rex, which we know is here, and a bunch of other regular schmegular and quite beautiful dinosaurs, or marine reptiles that were better looking than the main attractions, and quite docile in comparison. Other than this guy biting the dust, I'm still waiting for a horror scene where people are literally running for their lives and it actually being believable, and where these supposed mutant dinosaurs are a problem. I'm expecting to see some Genndy Tartakovsky's primal levels of sauropod horror, because wouldn't that be awesome? Especially since they keep saying, oh, it's just an herbivore, eats plants, see, it's okay. Why would sauropods exist here and be left to their own devices if they're too horrific for the main park, but supposedly don't look that way? I mean, call me crazy, but what exactly is it about the specific specimens that were left on this island that make them horrific? Because I'm still waiting to see what that is. So far, call me crazy, but I feel as though Isla Sorna, Site B, was a way more dangerous place than any of the other sites, including the one in Jurassic World Rebirth, which apparently is St. Hubert, Site C, or 60, whatever. Ugh, I hate him. See, right here, you're expecting something crazy to happen, right? Like something that they don't expect. Something that will make the group realize that they're up Schitt's Creek. That's the way that they set all of this up. The suspense, the ambience, all of it, even the cinematics, very well done here. Like, just the way they filmed this right here with her inching forward into the tall grass with suspense, not knowing if something's there in front of her. And they do several of these shots extremely well, just like they did with the pissing scene. But what you'll come to notice is that throughout this entire film, they may set up a shot and tease something horrific about to happen, but then they never deliver on it. They edge you and they let you think that something's gonna happen, but then it doesn't. It's either sidelined by some kind of comedic moment to try and make you laugh, or there's just not any danger at all.
No?
See what I mean? What is going on with these movies, and why do they do this? What the fuck is going on? This isn't funny. It's not comedy. For it to be comedy, it would have to actually elicit a freaking laugh. And why? If this is supposed to be a return to form, with the title being Rebirth, do we have this piece of shit idea for a script where they're in a suspenseful situation, and yet they choose at this moment to make a joke? They've seen people killed. Say what you want, but even with Dr. Ian Malcolm, who's the guy who has a personality that makes you think that he's constantly about to give you a punchline every time he talks, he still knew how to be afraid in situations where it was serious.
Fairly alarmed here.
Come on. We gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here. Now, right now. Go. Let's go. Hey. Start the engine.
Oh shit, this just makes me want to watch the first movie over. I probably watched the first Jurassic Park 50 times. I want to watch it for a 51st time, just to cleanse my palate. So you see that the old Joker guy is not telling any jokes right now. He's scared shitless, especially after he himself almost got killed and saw other people got killed. Especially my girl Ellie Sattler here. Her actress is amazing. She does horror so well. Look at that face. You cannot tell me she wasn't afraid. Bro looks like a horror mask. You know you've scared someone when a human face contorts into looking like a Halloween mask. She is so good at this. And Ian Malcolm is also like frozen to the point where he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking die right now. This is the guy who's supposed to be the comedic relief, but in these tense moments, nobody is laughing. Nothing is funny. The problem now is that filmmakers seem utterly terrified of sincerity. They're scared to let a scene be serious without undercutting it with some kind of joke. Because, you know, God forbid the audience feels something or sits in a moment of dread. So they sacrifice tension and drama for accessibility, which just comes off making them look like they're cowards. Either that or they have a blatant lack of talent or respect for their own craft. Not everything, and I repeat, not everything has to be Marvel or Guardians of the Galaxy or Deadpool levels of comedy. Not everything has to be Marvel. I don't know if you've gotten the memo, but Marvel isn't doing too well because of this very reason. When it was done as a gimmick to subvert expectations the first few times, several movies did it every now and then. It was funny and okay because nobody expected it. But now they're using it as a formula over and over and over and over again. Even in movies that are supposed to be serious. In scenes that are supposed to be serious. You can still have a family-friendly sort of movie and let something be terrifying, and don't tell me it's for the children because we have Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory for that, which you can argue was geared towards kids and that has more suspenseful and terrifying moments than the adult franchise, if you can even believe that. So miss me with that. God, I know I'm harping on and on about it, but it's increasingly and everlastingly annoying when they keep doing this. Why should we have respect for this franchise when the creators clearly don't? At this moment, when I see the whiptail of what I thought was a Diplodocus at first, I was thinking this would be a perfect opportunity for them to think it was going to be a cool, gentle, giant sauropod like they're always portrayed, only for someone to get their body whipped clean in half by this tail, and then now freaking out because they're now in the middle of a herd of sauropods who feel threatened by them because they have these little things that hunt them that probably look similar to these humans, and the sauropods are probably freaked out because they don't have very good vision, so now they're really, really upset about these human things that are lurking in the grass right beside them. That would have been a better reaction from the dinosaurs. And I at least give credit to Jurassic Park The Lost World because at least the Stegosauruses, the Triceratops, and whatnot were aggressive in the Lost World Jurassic Park, especially when they were trying to protect their offspring.
Sarah! Shoot them! They're just protecting their baby, so am I.
in our regular world out here, we got antelope and rhinos and wildebeest and giraffes and horses. Elephants and especially hippos, particularly big game animals, can be quite aggressive when they're protecting their females or their offspring or families or even just themselves, or maybe they just had a bad day and they just want to be assholes. Gorillas are vegetarians, but they will beat your shit up. When a new stallion in equine nature usually takes over a harem or a herd of mares, it will drive out the male stallion and kill all the babies so the female can go into estrus again, and it will beat up the female if she tries fighting him while it's killing her newborn baby. Half the people out here who think that anything that eats plants is by nature docile, you're in for a rude awakening, and that's why you have these dumbass people, particularly a lot of the Karen moms behind these cameras, gasping and wondering why no one's going to help, because they thought situations like this were going to be a Disney parade for some reason. So why is it in the Jurassic Park franchise that the newer versions or the newer Jurassic World movies are so averse to sauropods or herbivores being aggressive? This is supposed to be an island where all the mutants and horrors of dinosaur genetic tampering has occurred, right? But yet, most of the dinosaurs we've seen here look like regular dinosaurs who are way more docile than actual dinosaurs would have been in the same situation. It's honestly mind-numbingly nauseating. Because God forbid we have one of those scenes, instead we have to have swelling music every time there's a fucking sauropod on the screen. And this dude is a freaking jackass. I can't stand him, he's so dumb. First of all, I think he's poorly cast, and he looks like an idiot. Look, the whip-like tail, and I'll expound on that more. Look at how it's sweeping towards them, and his first instinct is, let me run pell-mell towards it, you fucking dumbass. Also, why were they laughing? You're in the wild, you have no idea how these animals are about to respond to your presence, and you're laughing? Is anybody but me, like, as much as I love dinosaurs, you know who would be extremely terrified in a situation like this? Me. First of all, you didn't even hear these things, and now as a result of me, like, being here where this thing is waking up and its tail is flicking everywhere, I would be so far out of the distance. I'd be like, okay, time to leave. At the very least, give this thing some freaking space. That tail, that flagellum flicking around everywhere. And what is going on with Dr. Dumbass Loomis, who is getting a looming erection looking at these dinosaurs? Is he not the doctor who's supposed to know about these dinosaurs enough to instruct these people to probably stay back as far as possible? If anybody should be afraid, it should be him, because he should have the education and knowledge enough to warn these people that these whiptails on these dinosaurs can easily kill you if these dinosaurs feel threatened, and they have crazy aim with these things, and they're literally going within feet of these tails. So the tails are flicking everywhere. These dinosaurs just woke up. You're now in their line of sight. And the tails are flicking. These very thin whip-like tails that can sever another creature clean in half. And instead of giving them some distance, you charge towards them as though these dinosaurs are blind. I do mew. I know some of you are probably going to make the argument, they're so big, the things are smaller than them, they probably wouldn't pay attention to them. Tell that to whales and elephants. But you have no way of knowing that, because these are mutant dinosaurs whose genetic code has been fumbled with. So crazy. It's almost as though they're not regular dinosaurs, and you wouldn't know fuck all how they would behave in a wild situation where they probably have never seen humans before, and they suddenly see these little imps flowing through the grass coming at them. God, these humans are so stupid, and the writing is even dumber. If you saw the shot in the trailer of them running through the grass and you paired it to suspenseful music, you would be misled into thinking this was going to be a horrific situation. That the sauropods wouldn't be what they seemed. And I would love it if they had a horror element where, you know, there's all this swelling music, and oh my god, look how beautiful these things are, only to realize that these things have really good vision, and they behave like predators despite being herbivores. music that I added to it, see how it changed the feel? Imagine if they had rewritten the scene to actually use tension. One of the humans could throw a bag into the tall grass to draw the attention away, or wait a minute, actually, wait, let me think. I got a better one. How about something similar to the Therizinosaurus scene in Dominion? They spot another herbivorous creature, right? Grazing, whatever it's doing. Quietly by, doesn't mind the sauropods, just like with this deer. As the group stands there, silently admiring the sheer majesty of the towering titanosaurs, one of the long-necked colossi slowly turns its big, fat, thick head, notices a smaller herbivore in the grass, then lifts its massive tail. Mind you, the humans are still smiling in awe of this creature, only to witness it quickly lashing its whip-like tail so it can strike the unsuspecting creature with so much force that its freaking head explodes instantly, dropping it dead on the spot. Like, do you know how brutal that would be? Especially now that the humans realize that these things are not to be messed with, because everyone was foreshadowing how, oh, they're plant eaters, they're not going to do anything to you, they're safe, remember? And then what would be even more interesting is noticing the herd of sauropod now all turning their eyes really slowly in the direction of where the humans are. Now the humans have to fight for their lives using the tall grass as cover and having to worry about these whip-tailed creatures hunting them even though they're herbivores. Another thing they could have tried also is one of the humans or two of them standing side by side, and then there's a whipping motion or some kind of sound, but none of them know what it is, and then they hear gurgling noises, and when they look behind them, two of the main characters, mind you, are standing there just looking at everyone else all funny, and everyone's like, what's wrong with that guy? And then you see blood come out of their mouths, and then their body just starts like falling in the opposite direction to their bottom half, which falls in the other direction, which indicates that these guys have been cut clean in half. And don't tell me that's too gory, because they have ways of filming Jurassic Park to not show too much gore. Remember the shoot her scene in the first one? Shoot her! We didn't see any mauling. When Muldoon got killed by the raptor, no blood. We didn't see anything, but we knew exactly what was going on. When they fed the cow to the raptor, didn't see anything, we knew what was going on. When the T-Rex took the lawyer off the toilet and started flashing him around, no blood, didn't see what was going on, we knew exactly what happened. When Eddie got torn in half by the T-Rexes, didn't see what was going on. I mean, we saw it, but you didn't have to see up close blood and intestines happening. Dieter, when he was being ripped apart by the compies, they just showed the mist of blood and his screaming, and that's all there were. There are ways you can film this. Jurassic Park has been doing it since the inception of the first film, so please don't tell me, oh, it's PG, it's too gory for the children. They've been doing this from the get-go. If Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory can do it, and that is more so geared towards kids, there's no reason why the movie shouldn't be able to. So anyway, if they did that horror thing, I don't know, that would be a kick-ass thing. That's what I expected. The way they were filming the tail, I literally thought this is what was going to happen. That would be a very harrowing reminder to the audience that even peaceful giants can be terrifying forces of nature, and that beauty in this world can kill you without any hesitation. And I don't know, maybe also to remind them that this is a fucking island with mutant creatures on it that were too horrific or ugly for the main park. Are we forgetting that narrative? It's like they set this up in the first, like, you know, the marketing and stuff, and then they do all of that world building and foreshadowing for the Jurassic World Rebirth film, only to forget it 2 seconds later and for the rest of the film. So anyway, they're here for the DNA, right? So while the long necks are too distracted about to make love, which I'm not gonna lie, if this was a Walking with Dinosaurs documentary, these would be beautiful scenes, but it's not. So yeah, they use this opportunity to get the DNA sample while this girl is getting dicked down. Look at him necking her over here like, yeah, girl, I know you like my blowhole. She's like, oh my God, Daddy, your wife is right over there. She likes to watch, baby. Oh, fuck. And at this moment, when Dr. Loomis touches the dinosaur, I really would have liked for it to kick him or squash him and everyone just starts screaming and then spooking the herd or something happened. Like, the whole time. It was very annoying because everything that happened in this whole segment was me thinking maybe now is the time something horrific happens. Nope. Oh, maybe this is the time something horrific. Nah, that's not it either. Okay, something's surely gonna happen. Nope, never does. For fuck's sake. Bro, who goes up to a bunch of animals about to get it on so you can stroke them? Like, I know you're overcome with emotion, but pretty weird timing, especially seeing, that there are other dinosaurs in the immediate area that you could touch as well, but you choose the two that are about to have sex. It's just weird. Okay, let's pretend that the dinosaurs also don't see them because they're that big and they're blind. Let's just say all you have to do is be quiet and watch. So anyway, she sets the shot, and look, oh, the male has a mohawk. That's the anime version of him being bricked up. And she shoots the dinosaurs. I don't know if that's like a double entendre for her getting something inside, the injections inside, and they timed it along the same time the male would go inside the female. If they're doing that, fine, but if it's not, it clearly seems as though the dinosaur feels the injection somewhat because it reacted to it, it made a noise, and then backed up very slowly. Mind you, I'm still waiting for something to happen. Nothing ever does. So long as we're quiet, right? Right? Oh, but don't worry. Nothing ever happens. Look, it used to be my dream to be a director, and I'm not saying that I would be anywhere close to Steven Spielberg or half of what he is, but good lord, is anybody else but me thinking this would have been a perfect opportunity because nobody was suspecting it for the dinosaurs to get annoyed and whip the guy's head off? This stupid ass can't stand him. He is the worst lead character of the entire franchise ever. I hate him. At the risk of sounding like a monster, I don't care. I wish that someone would throw a big Timberland's boot right down his throat hole and it gets stuck there and he dies slowly from it. This dude has all the hubris of someone who knows that he's not literally in a world where there's dinosaurs, right? He's just an actor on set and these are CGI dinosaurs. I understand that. And he can, he can't actually see what they look like. I get it. Because for him to be this comfortable, that is crazy to me. Like, you're supposed to be acting. But his character comes off as though he's in a virtual reality where nothing can hurt him, probably because it can't. And he's on an island. They've all forgotten they're on an island where there are mutants and dinosaurs, that are supposedly very scary and dangerous. And as much as I like the soundtrack and score for the Jurassic Park franchise, it comes off as very tastelessly placed here because the dinosaurs, after all of this, just all walk off into the radiance of the sun hitting the valley, and where everything else was dangerous, the herbivores are never dangerous. They're always gentle no matter what. Bitch-ass sauropods? Of course not. Everything super large is extremely docile and benevolent and super sweet and kind. They don't have those big tails for defenses, for whipping things that threaten them. Of course not. It's for curling around each other and making hearts. It's for holding each other. It's for caressing each other and choking each other out when they want to do dom sub play. That's the purpose of the tails. I'm not saying that these tails couldn't have been used for communication as well, but I would have expected a dinosaur like this, with everything that we supposedly know about them so far that's been theorized, that we would at least get to see these tails in action in something other than them just hugging each other close so they can have maximum penetration. Oh, shut up. There is nothing majestic about this piece of shit movie. Stop ruining the soundtrack. You haven't earned the respect to use it. Mission complete. Wait, we didn't get the font that says mission complete overlaying this, even though there's no longer danger involved in this specific setting because they were set. Wait. Remember that there are things that hunt these creatures? Do we ever get to see what those things? Nope, we do not. You're expecting too much. Mission complete. There we go. Yep, that's better. As for seeing dangerous things, you'd have better luck and a better time watching Peter Jackson's The King Kong movie, because at least there, when they're on the freaking land where all those creatures and dinosaurs exist, you get way more action and danger in there than you ever do in this place. At this point, Jurassic World Rebirth feels like the equivalent of what a cozy game would be. Anyway, the Quetzalcoatlus is next.
Looks like we're climbing.
Hope you good with heights, Doc.
And let me guess, climbing is not going to be a problem whatsoever. Do they have to worry about running into predators on their way up those mountains or up those? Nope. Nope, definitely not. Are there raptors on this island? Apparently, like, other than the ones we saw get killed? No, there isn't. You know, these people don't have to worry about them. They do not. Lucky for you guys. Well, we get to cut back to the boring-ass family. I mean, what am I kidding? All the humans in this show are boring. Sorry, this movie.
Is your leg okay?
Yeah, it just hurts a little. I'm fine. It's okay.
And, are we okay with that?
It's helping her. It's okay, I got an eye on it.
I'm surprised, honestly, that the older daughter actually cares about her father. Not that I believe that. So remember what I said about this little Aqualops thing being in the little girl's head? The whole conversation between the father and the older daughter seems legit if you consider that the little girl is losing her mind. Maybe she did see the dinosaur before, like before when the sister ran it off and stuff, and that was real. And her mind just made up some kind of imaginary thing to protect itself from her being scared. Because this happened when she was sleeping when she saw the dinosaur again. And as long as she's not scared because she's has an imaginary friend, which only she can see, the father is completely okay with it as long as the daughter doesn't become manic. He said, oh, as long as it's helping her, and they never address that it's a dinosaur or what they're seeing. He doesn't seem to really, like, we see him looking at it and the spot where she's looking, which is what humans would usually do. Trust me, we have a family member who has dementia. I've had, you know, kids that I've had to deal with also that have imaginary friends. I myself have imaginary friends. I know the psychology behind it, especially when you make up one that's a monster because it's what you're afraid of, so you make it up because it looks less threatening, and if you make it cute in your friend, then you have to be worried about what's going on around you. Any parent in that situation wouldn't have the heart to then tell their child that their little imaginary friend or what they're seeing isn't real if it's protecting their mind from being afraid. And during the entirety of the rest of the movie, this little girl doesn't act like she's afraid. Or this dinosaur conveniently shows up whenever she's in a situation where she's freaking afraid. You know? Almost like she's mentally broken and she's disassociated from her environment by using this imaginary thing to help her. Because otherwise, you would see some situations where it's just not possible for this to be the same creature or to be real at all.
Hey guys, I'm naming her Dolores.
Liz, you're alive?
Hey, you talk?
I'm taking her home with me.
That may or may not be a terrible idea.
Dolores? Hey, you good?
Yes, it's
See, they don't directly address it. And I think, honestly, they're humoring the little girl because she's mentally freaking snapped. The boyfriend hasn't acknowledged the dinosaur, and I don't really see anybody else acknowledging it either, especially not at first when you think they clearly do so. Anyway, another funny moment, but it's not so funny. Xavier slips and falls, and everyone decides that they're gonna slip and fall right after it because they're fucking stupid. Freaking sheep, these people. Then the father is like, what's that smell? It's probably you, Pa. You probably pissed yourself. And then catch this, right? Dolores, the imaginary friend, starts acting weird after it rolls down after her and stays in the bag perfectly. Then when it runs away, nobody else answers the question or acknowledges the dinosaur whatsoever, even when the little girl speaks up about it.
What's wrong with her? What is she scared of?
It's like everyone's just ignoring her. They're like, bitch, you're crazy. But you see, we're your family, so we can't outward say that, like, especially right now, because last thing we need to deal with is someone who is manic crazy and us not being able to control them. But you notice that the little dinosaur leaves, right? You did see that. It has gone. It has fled. I don't even know what wild animal would let you keep it in your book bag, especially after you've taken a tumble like that and be completely okay in the heat of the jungle staying in there for the entire time. So they make a plan to go get the boat across the river, and the older woman, girl, whatever she's supposed to be, the big sister says that she'll go get it because the father can barely walk, and Xavier can help him since Xavier's stronger and help support him. Good idea. Please send this woman across the river. Please. So you see, this is another case where they're setting up a very interesting horror scene. Will they deliver? What do you think? Oh my god, guys, do you remember the Dilophosaurus? Remember?
Yeah, I remember. You remember? I remember.
Is it gonna matter? Hell no. What are you, stupid? So the Dilophosaurus just realized there was a T-Rex there. It had been eating there the whole time, and now it just realized it. Interesting. But okay, let's forgive it because this setup for the scene is really good. But I don't know why I kept holding out hope as I watched this movie that things were going to get better and they were going to give us at some point a payoff and this movie would turn into the horror it claimed it was and we'd be terrified. Don't know why I thought that. I'm just hopelessly optimistic, I guess. So she pushes full speed ahead and decides she's gonna try and get the boat anyway, hoping she won't wake up the dinosaur. I'm sorry. My instinct to survive would have been so strong that I'd rather have come into the little boathouse here, or hide somewhere else, or decide to have, like, take a rain check on this. Someplace nearby, maybe, or wait till the T-Rex leaves. Or for all she knows, it could get up and continue eating, so maybe she's trying to do right by her father, or maybe she's just stupid. And you'll see why in a moment. So the bats make a whole bunch of noise, and she didn't check to see if the dinosaur woke up because of all that noise. That wasn't your first instinct, really? Really? So notice how things are tense and scary, right? Now, like I said, I really do think this little girl's mind has snapped because she's going through a very tense and scary situation, and the dinosaur, the little tiny Aqualops, shows up again for little Dolores. And she's whispering to this dinosaur over and over again that it's not safe, that she should go away, because I guess in her mind, if she has something else to protect, she'll have more bravery for the situation because she has something depending on her, and then that way she doesn't feel as helpless because she's terrified of dinosaurs. That's just the psychology of why she's doing this, and I know that's the case because when I was little, like I said, I did the same thing. Also, like I said, there's even some occasions where I'll still do it. Stuck in some place in the dark, and you have to, like, walk through your jungle forest at night. You just, you know, pretend that you're a predator and you own the dark. Either that or pretend that you're hunting something and have the confidence of a predator stalking its prey, you know, or things are afraid of you, or you have an imaginary dinosaur or predator that will protect you as long as you're walking in the dark. And just, like, try not to think about the fact that there might be rattlesnakes and vipers in the brush that you're walking on. You don't have snake guards.
Let's go, it's not safe.
So you notice how nothing makes any noise, and she happens to look around to engage her mind for this happening.
Let's go, it's not safe.
Tell me that you see it now. Biggest theory yet.
Please, go. Shoo.
Jesus Christ. There's so much going on here between the little girl being an idiot and whispering consistently, and the big sister not knowing how to be quiet, because, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but you could have lowered the raft slowly into the water, Jesus, instead of dragging it on this wooden pier so that it snags and make noise, you know, to freaking wake the T-Rex up. Why are the characters in this franchise so stupid? Like, I get characters are supposed to be stupid, and you know, so we can see things happen, and that's the easiest way to write stuff now, and then we're supposed to get some kind of payoff, though, watching them be stupid by watching them die afterwards, and that never happens, so it's just infuriating. Oh my god, I swear to God, I forgot how much I rolled my eyes in the theater and how hard I did it. I just got reminded again, because I just did it again. No, seriously, somebody was sniffing some mean armpit spunk before they wrote the script, I swear. This dumb dog woman probably chose the man that she's with because she met someone who was on her level of stupidity. Or maybe he's more smart than she is. He's a genius compared to her. I'm convinced of this. And we can see that this is the case because it just doesn't make any sense. Her actions don't make any sense. This is on levels with Lex shining the flashlight at the T-Rex for no freaking reason in the first movie. Like, what are you doing? Why does the script need to have characters this dog shit stupid to move things along? I can understand if she'd carried, like, the thing across the river and had been as quiet as possible, and then a group of animals got spooked the way the bat did in the boathouse, and then the T-Rex wakes up because of that. then it has to make its way slowly towards them from across the river. That would make sense. And that would have not been her fault. I think it's much scarier, and you root for the characters more when they do something in their power to stay safe, and then things still happen. But instead, we get this insult to our intelligence with this scene. Freaking idiot. And then to add insult to injury, the freaking T-Rex then does a disappearing act and teleports to some unknown location as though it's a freaking cartoon. Why did it do that? Why didn't it just stand where it was? Oh well, because it wouldn't be suspenseful enough, don't you know? I swear to God, my head hurts. I'm like losing so much energy right now. You guys wanted this video to be long. I honestly don't even want to finish this. I started out thinking I was going to have fun, and I was at first. And honestly, having to do this, like, slowly picking apart the issues is tiring me out and making me stressed. Just... no wonder this came to streaming so fast. So I want you to notice a few things that are happening here. First of all, from what we know, the T-Rex's vision is based on movement. Unless, of course, the T-Rex is extremely tired like this one, where bright objects are just whatever. That's what that's where I'm getting at. It's based on movement. Let's just assume, right? It saw this thing. We know it did because it was literally looking right at it after this nimwit blew it up. Boom, it opens its eyes, it sees this thing unfold in front of it. Whether it woke up because of the sound, it would have quickly seen the bright yellow movement. And even if it can't see color, it still would have seen the movement. Second thing, I want you to notice that the useless child threw the licorice away so that Dolores could run and get it. So Dolores, this little thing, is not with them. Interesting. This scene, beautifully done. It's a very good setup for a potential horrific situation, especially when the T-Rex finally recognizes that they're there. I will give it that. It's very well shot, and I think the T-Rex is very beautiful, even though it still looks very shrink-wrapped, which I can't really blame them for because every other dinosaur in this franchise looks like that. But anyway, can you imagine if it was feathered? See a big old, really huge terror bird the size of a bus coming towards you? But the thing is, I already knew what was happening before this happened, especially since I read the books. None of these new dog shit movies are based on the books, by the way. But yeah, I already knew the T-Rex could swim, and they had the perfect opportunity to make something great here. Sure. Because making up all that noise and that bright colored raft and moving frantically and then on top of that screaming at the top of your lungs to draw attention to yourself is a great survival mechanic. Look at these dimwits. Everything that they do in every action that they take in this movie is what you should never do in a situation like this when you're around wild big animals that you don't know.
Why is this happening?
In every other situation, a T-Rex would use its teeth to grab the creature. But this thing had to not go up to them near the back. It had to go around them. Weird way to write a scene like this. Oh, we just want to show that it can swim fast. Let's have it go around them. Then stop in front of them. Then when it had the perfect opportunity to use its teeth and chomp down on them like we've seen it do every other time in every other movie, it then decides to instead flip the raft, which takes way more energy to do, by the way. Right. Old dude just pops out like,
"Here's Johnny!"
Now please tell me if I'm being unreasonable. Do you now understand why this movie gets on my damn nerves? Do you now understand why I'm kind of upset, especially coming from the first three Jurassic Park movies, that this is the dog shit that we're getting? What an insult to the audience and anybody who paid money for this, including me. Tell me, honestly, if I'm nitpicking or being too much. Honestly. All those people that were defending the last movies and piling on me because I was supposedly not a true Jurassic Park fan, please tell me in all your overwhelming skill to perform your mental gymnastics how this is a good movie or a good portrayal of the franchise. They could have made it a really heart-pounding moment. Genuinely a survival scene with horror and no, it's infuriatingly stupid. It's really bad storytelling. That scene that we just saw with flipping the raft didn't serve any tension. There's no character development, of course. Not that we necessarily need that for this specific scene. but you don't even get spectacle with it. It's just literally a visual set piece for the trailer that you can take like still shots or something. There are TikTok skits or online skits that have better performance and storytelling than this. And this is exactly why the Jurassic World sequels have become such an unbearable mess. The writing is no longer about wonder and awe, and most importantly, for a dinosaur film when dinosaurs get out of control and we can't any longer have any control over them, fear. The only thing that seems to matter are shiny set pieces, CGI, or these dumbass characters who make these dumbass decisions based on whatever's most convenient to the plot. And animals acting less like animals, or the actual dinosaurs of the franchise, or that the franchise is based on. And they're acting like freaking NPCs that are glitching out. These writers either have no clue what made the original films work, or they just straight up don't care. And to anybody who loved the first 3 Jurassic Park films, or even just the first one, you know, the movies that respected your intelligence, that built tension with pacing and atmosphere, remember those? That treated dinosaurs like, yes, they were majestic, but they were also terrifying aberrations of nature that people brought back. This putrid pile of puke feels like a slap in the face. It's not even that it's just bad. It's just insultingly bad. Like, this scene, and honestly, like, most of the movie just reeks of creative laziness. A total lack of reverence and respect for the franchise and for the genre. And a writing team that either has no talent, like I said, or worse, they don't have any spine and to tell a story that has actual stakes. Not like it takes that much. Bare bones is all that's required, and they don't even have that. So after it flips the raft, it's gotta give him a chance to get away. So it roars majestically as it always does, and always must, because, you know, you can't have a T-Rex on screen without it frickin' roaring, even though it makes no sense to do so. Then after it's gotten rid of the threat, it just is like, roar! I did that! Gave the audience the roar, and okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go now. It gets tired and just leaves them immediately, even though it can see these things in the water, like, because they need time to get away. It's too easy for them to get plucked off, so that the dinosaur has to pretend to be distracted by something else, so it just walks away from them, even though they're literally right there moving around, and its vision is based on movement. And I guess the scariest thing that this family is going to go through outside of the first boat scene before they got stranded on the island is now a raging river. And good lord. What is this, a cutscene turning into a minigame? Why the hell is it roaring? Furthermore, why did it leave them just so it could chase them afterwards when they were already literally right there in front of you? What in the hot, steaming pile of ass juice? Like, and no matter how much they try to put the action music to it, and they like try to trick us into thinking, oh, it's super suspenseful, I can't ever get into it or immerse myself into it and believe it, because we know nothing ever happens to these godforsaken things. Sorry, personas, no matter how much we want it to, these people, nothing happens to them. They're so insufferable and annoying, and yet, oh my god, we're in danger, oh no, nothing's ever gonna happen to them. Nothing happens. Not even a freaking, oh sorry, the little girl has a tiny little scratch on her cheek. That's all that happens. And to make you know how horrible it is, I'm even surprised they gave her that. So they want us to believe that something has happened to the little girl because, oh no, it's gonna be so sad if something happens to her. Oh, wow, we're all gonna be so freaking depressed if the child freaking dies. Oh dear, everyone just gets scared and worried. I don't even know why they bothered with the scene with the kid, because we know nothing happens to her. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Nothing is wrong. Nothing happened. The T-Rex is probably so frustrated because no matter how powerful the PSI of its bite force is, there's nothing stronger than the plot armor of a fucking child in the Jurassic Park franchise. So her father is overjoyed and all she has to do is make it to them, and the T-Rex chases after her. The smallest morsel, mind you, for no freaking reason, just so it can give us some supposed tension that's not actually tension, because everybody already knows what's about to happen unless you're a caveman and you've never seen anything moving on screen before. Not to mention that the plot armor is so thick that even the raft couldn't be punctured by the T-Rex's bite force and very sharp teeth. Just look how the T-Rex just waits, like, okay, I'm gonna walk really slow, give you time to get away. Then she, right in the nick of time, you got through, I can't get you now. Oh dear, what's gonna happen? Oh, you guys win, roar, god damn it. Like I said, the raft just magically spawns on this side of the rock. How it even does that, I don't know. Why? How? Why did it not just stay on the other side of the... Why did it... who knows? I swear to God, this family is now officially the most hated group of human beings in this entire franchise for me. I loathe them with a passion. I fucking hate them. They honestly don't even need to exist in this movie. And it's like the movie is split in two different movies with how much they, like, stocked up in here unnecessarily. Look at these dimwits. Nothing good comes of these people. You should just be used as freaking cereal in someone's milk. They're so fucking annoying.
Probably a 5:13, 5:15. At least we're going down.
Because I'm Lara Croft, and nothing scares me. I can't die. It's like she knows she has plot armor. It'd be so hilarious if something just grabbed her off the ledge and dropped her off the cliff. These freaking movies are so bad they're turning me into a sociopath. What's really messed up is that while I was recording this, my husband heard me say that, and then he walked past my door and said, "You already are a sociopath." That's fucked up. Well, these movies are making me more of one, so there you go. And of course, we have to get more exposition.
An egg? I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg? You guys didn't talk about this ahead of time? I don't know why this is an issue, seeing as they were able to get a sample from a freaking whale-sized carnivorous marine reptile that barely breaks the surface. And the plot armor was thick enough to allow the Mosasaurus to just stay on the surface for as long as they needed it to until they got their sample. So I don't know why this is such an issue. We've also got mercenaries here that are good shots. All you need to do is catch one of them on the ledge, knowing that they're going to nest and not leave their nest alone for very long, rather than risking certain death by going in there and grabbing one of their eggs. Anyway, Sir Ditsalot says he has a climbing gym in his house, and since he's a civilian, you would think that they would put his mind at ease. First of all, you think you wouldn't tap someone on the shoulder and scare them like that when they're hanging over a cliff. That's pretty stupid to do. Calling them is enough. But you would also think they would put his mind at ease, but not Duncan over here. Well, I have a gym, you know, a 25-foot climbing gym, you know, that I can climb. Well, imagine doing that a frickin' fuck ton of times. This is 500 feet, and if you fall, you die. I think he already knows that, Duncan. Thanks for stating the obvious.
Okay, well, that's unhelpful.
Don't worry, I got you.
She's right, though. That was extremely unhelpful. But you know, gotta add it in there for comedic effect because everything's about comedy and scaring the nerd is very funny, don't you know? Don't really blame them in this situation because I absolutely loathe this main character. Honestly, let's see how funny it's gonna be, though, when this dude panics and endangers everyone else's life because he freezes up or does something stupid out of fear. And honestly, I find it really hard to relate to his character. He's supposed to be the nerdy type, someone I'd usually click with as a fellow nerd, but instead he comes off as annoyingly full of himself. Then out of nowhere, he's suddenly capable of doing everything the trained military guys can do, which makes zero sense. It's like the script couldn't decide if he's the awkward, relatable underdog, or like a shy discount action hero that just picks up things on the fly really well. So they just shoved both together and hoped we wouldn't notice. So anyway, he rappels down there and he's got the hang of it because remember, he's got his own climbing wall conveniently so at home. No, we can't be too full of ourselves, can we?
It's fun, right?
Of course it is. Let's all have fun. I love how everyone is like really jovial and happy and in a chipper mood when literally yesterday, two of their supposed very close friends were horrifically killed. Damn, you'd think there'd be at least a shred of lingering shock, grief, or even tension in the air. Nope. Apparently they're now all in a sitcom. And I half expect them to cue the laugh track every few paces of dialogue that we get in this movie. And funny how Scarlett Johansson's character Zora is all dead inside and crying when it comes to her friend who died off screen. who we've never met, don't know anything about, so we don't really care that she's sad about him. But when it comes to her other close friends or people she served with, even if you're not as close to them as you were with your other comrade, you would think that she wouldn't be in a completely fun mood and always making jokes at every turn. Same thing with Duncan. Like, I understand putting aside everyone's differences and locking in order to complete the mission, but these people are acting as though human lives don't matter. And I find it equally as disconcerting as it's one of those situations that just knock you straight out of the immersion. Maybe I can understand if they were like that at the start, you know, but, you know, like everyone was kind of serious and then blah, blah, blah. Or if you even just let them joke around for a little while and then they get serious when stuff starts happening. It sure shouldn't be joking around right now. But who can blame them? With plot armor so thick as the ones they have all wrapped around their gooch and cooch, why wouldn't they be? Because nothing can hurt them, and none of these main characters are gonna die. This is putting me in mind of The Last of Us Season 2. It feels more like a field trip than a fight for survival, which it should be, which is what we were told we were gonna get through the marketing. Oh, by the way, the movie remembers that you have to sprinkle dinosaurs in there every now and then when nothing's going on just to keep the people, like, guessing, look guys, dinosaur. Let's keep your attention. Anyway, Duncan finds a hole and lets the villain guy know, and then all hell breaks loose, kind of, sort of, not really, because we know everyone's gonna be okay.
You're doing great. We've got another 40 feet to go. Time to move.
See, everything's jovial city. Now you can argue that she's trying to make him feel better so he's not too scared, but they even have to remind the audience and themselves that there are flying carnivorous creatures all around them. You know, because why would any of these creatures, with a bunch of them nesting in this area, leave this area completely without any surveillance whatsoever? And honestly, I've completely forgotten that this is supposed to be a very dangerous island. So far, the dinosaurs I've seen are not mutants, they're just regular dinosaurs, so I keep expecting there to be some kind of situation where, like, the dinosaurs that look unsuspecting are gonna be some kind of mutant aberrations, but that never happens. Anyway, they make it into an entrance that looked like it was cut out from some people who probably worship whatever passes for a god around here. So of all the other situations they've been in, Zora is deciding that they need to really hurry with this one. This is the one that apparently where nothing is happening actively, where she's the most scared. But he cares more about hurting the egg than anything else.
Not without breaking the egg sac.
You're a very impressive nerd, Henry. What would the alternative be?
To what?
Handing the samples over to Parker Gen X.
So here comes the crux of the whole motivation, because he said a few sweet nothings and she was like, oh, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna just renege off of my agreement that I made with the freaking guy who wants to make the heart medicine or cure or whatever. Let's hear what Henry Loomis has to say. Also, it's strange how Scarlett Johansson's character, sorry, I have to get used to calling her Zora, is so ready to jump on the bandwagon with this when she's been shown to be the kind of character that isn't easily swayed unless it involves a lot of money or people she generally cares about that's close to her. Her just liking this guy all of a sudden and deciding to flip the switch, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even really know if it's fair to say it's out of character for her, because the thing is, we don't even get that much time to really get to know the characters aside from the superficial foolishness that they showed us.
We open source it. We give it to the whole world. A bunch of people create the medicine. Nobody owns the patent. Everyone has access. And tens of millions of lives are saved.
Right, because no one ever thought of that, ever. That's how easy it is. Wow. Like, gee golly, why didn't millions of people think about that before? This person just comes off sounding like a freaking idiot. Because you're gonna decide to give this to absolutely everybody, and I guess Zora just jumps on this idea because she wants redemption or something, but that doesn't make any sense either. The movie frames it like Zora is suddenly seeking redemption, except there's nothing in the story, as far as I know anyway, to suggest that she needs redemption in the first place, other than the fact that she, like snobby dum-dum Loomis, took this mission for money. If that's the moral standard, then everyone's guilty and nobody's arc makes sense. And here's the thing, unless I'm being very stupid, by going the open source route, Loomis doesn't become the noble savior that the movie is trying to get us to see him as. He actually becomes the villain. Why, you may ask? Because that choice almost guarantees that not one iota, not one person is gonna get the medicine. Without a wealthy person backing it or some major pharmaceutical company to bankroll the research and the development and everything involved with that, run the necessary years of all the clinical trials that's required, secure all the regulatory approval, and mass produce the treatment, those 3 vials of dinosaur blood are literally just gonna sit there, scientifically worthless to the people who actually need them. He thinks, oh, I'm saving lives, I'm doing the right thing. And his gesture is probably something that makes him feel good about himself in the moment. Maybe for the rest of his life, he's gonna be like standing on this moral high ground of righteousness, looking down on the freaking peasants and being all like, look at what I did. I'm a generous god. But all he's ended up doing is ensuring those lives never get saved. All while patting himself on the back for being the supposed good guy, like the movie wants us to believe. He comes off like those freaking activists that block heavy traffic areas, and then they like pat themselves on the back, thinking that they're somehow doing something to save the environment, or whatever the hell it is they claim they're fighting for, that day in particular, when in fact they're probably causing accidents. Because how many people are on their way to the hospital? How many women are probably in situations where they've called the police for help and the police are on their way because of some kind of violence being done against them? And they're holed up in their cupboard waiting for the police because, God forbid, the civilians have a way to defend themselves, right? And oh no, the police can't get to them because these people are in the freaking way. Or a woman is about to give birth, or someone has respiratory failure or heart failure, and the ambulance needs to get to the hospital. Or those same people that they claim that they're fighting for are on their way to jobs that they cannot literally afford to lose because they have mouths to feed and don't have as much money or time as these people do, that clearly are super entitled and privileged enough to have the time to sit in the middle of the road and block everybody else from living their lives and earning a living. Then they go home and they're all like, yep, I did that. People like that don't get any respect from me. If you would just take 3 seconds and use the little last remnants of brain cells that you have, you'd understand that your actions towards claiming to be morally superior makes no damn sense and actually make you out to be the villain that you claim you're fighting.
It's all of us, not some of us.
I don't make any money in that scenario.
Oh no, you're broke as hell.
Yeah, I don't love that part.
Ew, who wrote the script? They're acting like this is a cute little Robin Hood moment or something. But unless this universe suddenly has a bunch of non-profit manufacturing companies, specifically ones that know how to do DNA sequencing, and they're somehow waiting in the wings, nothing is going to happen with those samples. This is how Loomis looks. But yeah, this is a pipe dream. Like, nothing is gonna happen. Those vials are just gonna sit there and rot or grow bacteria inside of it. You need to sell it to another pharmaceutical company in order to turn it into the heart medication, which creates another problem because, I mean, you're gonna have all these other companies that already exist that can do that and have the resources to do that are probably just as greedy as the ones that these people stole it from. Maybe even more so. It's still gonna take billions upon billions of dollars to develop these drugs, and you need to research them first. They don't just pop out of the ether. So call me crazy, but the open source thing makes no damn sense. These people are idiots, and that's probably why they're broke as hell. People who actually make differences and provide things for society get rich off of doing that stuff, because they actually contribute something to society that society needs. Yes, I know. Everyone agrees that there's plenty of greedy people out there, like the people who are probably running the pharmaceutical companies and the tech giants and all of that. But a lot of the people that revolutionized the world when it came to medicine and technology got rich because of their ideas and the ability to put that stuff together and get backing. It sucks, but that's the world that we live in. And the thing is, they're forgetting one very important thing as well, right? Which I always find funny when the logic of these movies it presents itself as being, hey guys, you never thought about this? What if we just like that freaking girl from the clip who thought she solved homelessness?
If you're homeless, just buy a house.
Like, oh my snozzle shozzle, if only it had been that easy. Nobody ever thought about this. Why doesn't everyone just do this? They're acting like other human beings aren't going to be just as greedy as the pharmaceutical companies they're supposedly sticking it to. Like, is the fairy tale thinking, which is like why some people should be very much educated before they vote on anything that requires more than 2 brain cells to understand. Oh, let's just open source it and give it to everybody. The world will unite in selfless cooperation to create a miracle cure and hand it out for free. They be any more fucking stupid. I mean, then again, this is the Jurassic Park universe, so I guess they're on brand with the human beings, and this is what they do. In reality, the second that DNA goes public, though, every freaking lab, biotech firm, and yes, other pharmaceutical companies are going to race to patent and lock down and monetize any viable process that comes out of it. Open source doesn't magically erase greed. It just spreads the feeding frenzy to way more people. So now you have more of that to contend with. Good job. And then what they've done is remove the one entity already invested in making the drug and replaced it with this chaotic free-for-all where the outcome will almost certainly 100% be exactly the same, which is you end up with this ridiculously expensive medication that most people still will not be able to afford. Now, in a fairy tale world where every human being is just as altruistic as you think that you are or try to trick yourself into feeling in this moment, then maybe, yeah, this would work. But we've seen that's not the case, and human beings are very much human, especially considering the main characters here talking about how altruistic they seem to be are only here because they wanted money. Doesn't matter for what reason they wanted the money, they still came for the money. Or for some selfish reason. If they don't even care about the dinosaurs anymore and barely care about each other because they're trying to survive, feed their own people, and stay alive, like, what makes you think they're gonna care about this? Like, what makes you think they're gonna unite enough to not try to take each other out? What makes you think they're not going to have the monetary motivation involved in this? The first one that comes out is probably going to patent it, and then the cycle continues. And there are some people that compare these idiots to Dennis Nedry, and honestly, I think they're right, because they're committing industrial espionage, which is essentially what everybody else was saying.
Dodson! We've got Dodson here!
The only difference is Nedry was portrayed as the bad guy, and these two get framed as the plucky little good guys because the movie wants us to like them and tells us that they're the good guys. But at the end of the day, what they're essentially doing is stealing something that someone else funded and developed, with absolutely zero plan to make it actually help anyone. We're supposed to laugh along with them, but all I see are two people who just made sure that the cure is never going to exist, because they're extra selfish and all they want to do is redeem themselves and make themselves feel good about who they are as people without actually helping anybody. I'm sorry, and another thing, they're thieves. I know I probably said that already, but it bears repeating. Not only that, but these other people that risked their lives and died for this very reason at the beginning of the movie, it's straight up an insult to them because this is not what they died for. Like, do you think they were like, oh, you're just gonna go give it to everyone and let nothing happen? I'm totally okay with that as a Spinosaurus eats out my ass. And yeah, maybe they wanted the money too, but it's still an insult to them because now you're not even gonna get that. So they died for literally nothing. Realistically, these birds would have already nabbed this dude off the wall because they have very good vision. I know they're not actually birds, relax. But since they're flyers, they have really good vision. And they would have seen him too close to the nest and got upset. Plus, he's making all that noise. It makes no sense. Why are you terrified? Like, I get it that they have climbing gear and they have to do it this way, but like, what did you think was going to happen? Why are you acting shocked, not knowing what's behind you or, oh, whatever could that be, boss? Like, you know why you're up here. You know what these things are. Then we get a bunch of scenes of this Quetzalcoatlus plucking at them and missing them. And first of all, the thing saw him and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that you're right there even though I can clearly see you. Look at his dumbass face. Freaking over here looking like the number 8. But yeah, mommy's home. And the Quetzalcoatlus has really bad aim now, so it just keeps missing the plucky characters over and over again because they have so much plot armor that this poor bird does not stand a freaking chance. Oh, so you can speak English.
You okay?
Yeah, you?
So Loomis is risking his life, still trying to get the vials, and at this point, I was really rolling my eyes because nothing is going to happen to this guy, even though I want him to die more than all the other characters. Sorry, that's a lie. I want the family to die more than all the other characters. Honestly, I don't know. Whoever is not on screen, like, you forget about them anyway. It's to the point where at this point in time, I even forgot that the family was a thing. But the person who is supposed to be the protagonist is one of the most unlikable people with the weirdest faces because he's extra unlikable, and that is a feat. I didn't like the kids in Jurassic World. I didn't like the kid in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, especially when they're running and screaming and the dinosaurs all of a sudden They're like completely nerfed to all hell and can't do anything to the freaking kids. Like things, they get stuck at the right moments and whatever. And it just makes me hate the freaking kids of the Jurassic Park franchise even more. Look, you see what I'm talking about with the homage thing? Even in this scene right here, they're copying. Oh, remember when Lex couldn't close the thing? And the raptor was coming after her? How about we make it so Maisie can't close this, even though there's no reason why it would be jammed because she used it a million times, and right as it is about to get her, it slams and she's a-okay. Not a dent in this thing whatsoever, even though it wasn't designed for that kind of impact, but sure. But I also couldn't stand the humans because it just got repetitive and annoying when all you had to do was hold your freaking hand up to stop a raptor. It was so corny and disgustingly shallow that it made me want to spit at the screen, especially once the novelty quickly wore off and it just kept becoming a thing. You know, maybe in the moment, like when it's a one-time thing, you're like, okay, I can deal with this. It's an interesting direction. You're expecting different movies have different feels about them, but still generally feel like Jurassic Park movies, and it just kept getting worse. They kept on rinsing and repeating the worst of the movies, which made me resent Jurassic World as well. Anyway, so then we have all the swelling music, and Loomis risks his life to say what essentially looks like jizz in a bottle, while the other guy gets eaten, and Kincaid looks as though he could care less, even though he's screaming the guy's name. He's like, no, oh no, another one bites the dust, oh well.
I got it! Oh no!
Henry! Henry!
Please, God, you have no idea how much I was saying a prayer that this guy would snap his neck on the way down. That would have been funny as hell. But at this point of the movie, with the atmosphere that they completely ruined, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, even if they were to have a really horrific scene, they already ruined the atmosphere so much in this movie that it would crack me the hell up. Because death means nothing in this. French guy that got swallowed felt nothing for him. Other guys that got killed felt nothing for them. I feel nothing for any of these people except for apathy. Anyway, they all make it down in the nick of time super fast, and what is her name again? Zora is relieved because her new boy toy is completely fine. There's not even a freaking scratch on this bitch. And what's even crazier is that the parachuting vial of jizz was able to make the trip all the way down past the canopy to land exactly right beside him without being impeded by any of the trees and the canopy that he had to fall down through to get here. How lucky. Wow. Like, the amount of luck this cast experiences throughout this movie is just jaw-dropping. I would even wager more jaw-dropping than the actual dinosaurs. So they all decide to continue on their journey, and nobody acknowledges the French guy. Now back to the stupid annoying-ass family. Now, do you notice how they've made this trip through the river, down the river, very, very far, right? To the point where it's almost dark, and they've now reached the supposed village. Many, many hours later. How many miles do you think they had to travel downriver away from everywhere else? And this is where the cast is going to converge. Anyway, they spot the helipad, and Zora is supposedly calling for someone to come pick them up. They only have, what, like a 3-minute window of opportunity at night when this helicopter is supposed to pick them up. Why they chose nighttime? Don't know. I mean, with all the chaos that was going on during the day and nobody else knew about it, don't think it would really matter with a helicopter coming in during the daytime. It's gonna be super hard then, trying to extract these people at nighttime, but whatever. Zora finds out that the family might be here, so she calls out for them. I honestly don't know why she cares as much about them, but yet she seems to not care at all about Duncan's friend, who she probably saw as a comrade as well. Maybe not as much, but she knows the family even less. Anyway, so after they call out to each other, that of course doesn't draw any attention to them. Crazy how docile this island has been so far, all things considering. But they all meet each other, and they're all okay, and everyone's completely fine, except for the three expendable characters that everyone just conveniently forgot.
Oh my God, you made it! Oh, God. Oh my God.
You okay?
God, for life. Where is he? No, where is that son of a bitch? What, who? That guy who let me fall.
Hey, he tried to kill her. Wait, who let...
These piece of shit liars. He let her fall, but he wasn't trying to kill her. Jesus Christ. This is how innocent people go to jail. But of course, in true villain fashion, Jurassic Park style, they gotta write the guy being a villain, you know, because he's rich.
Hey, Crips!
gonna kill him!
It's gotta come to this. No.
Yeah, I have a feeling if he didn't have the gun, something tells me you wouldn't be able to do shit, you little bitch. I bet if all those strong men weren't around her, she wouldn't be having all that mouth. What a dumbass. So you think the guy was trying to kill you, and your first reaction to this person is to provoke him and try to attack him into killing you or having more of a motivation to do so. He could snap your freaking neck with very low effort. As I said before, it's her own damn fault that she almost fell over. Yeah, he was trying to stop you from making the call, but you gave him that a colossal push and pushed yourself out of the boat, you freaking bimbo. And I don't know what entitled cityscape she crawled out of, but people don't just drop dead when you tell them that you're gonna go kill them and you get all angry. If this is truly a truly bad guy as you think he is, I would be trying to get on his good side so we can get up on out of this island, then you can tell everyone what happened and send him to jail.
You stopped me calling for help! You wanted me to die!
I know this is gonna come as a shock, person whose name I don't know and don't care to learn, but I think at this point, everybody wants you to die. I'm actually sorry you didn't. Like, you made the film worse, and that's a really interesting feat given that this film is already dog shit. And just because he stopped you for calling for help didn't mean he wanted you to die. At least not at first, anyway. And it wasn't just about you. Not everything is about you. This bitch forgets that everybody else was on the boat, then you got all in a tizzy and you pushed him and almost pushed yourself off the boat, and he didn't get up to help you. And I promise you, you wouldn't have died because the plot armor that you have wrapped around you is enough to cause claustrophobia. And you guys have been in that same water for a long time and you didn't die. So I think you'd have been fine.
What are you talking about? I tried to catch you.
No, you looked right at me and you let me fall.
She's lying.
Yeah, if she's lying, then why do you have a gun?
Because she's hysterical.
No, I'm not hysterical. I'm homicide.
At this point, just shoot the bitch. Jesus Christ. Not only that, but the acting on this person so god-awful. It actually makes me angry. I'm not hysterical. I'm homicidal! Oh my god, it's so scary. Let her go and let him punch her square in the freaking nose. She's so annoying. Funny enough, I think this person is an adult, but she's supposed to be cosplaying as a kid, and yet she manages to be the most annoying kid in the entire Jurassic Park franchise. And that is another feat. We're breaking world records today, apparently.
Whoa, whoa. Hey, don't rush the guy with the gun. Enough.
Why are they holding on to her? Let her go. These people are so idiotic. Just let her go. Or somebody drop kick her. She's gonna get everybody shot at this point. And you see a guy with a gun. I mean, she knows that they're gonna hold her back. She's not that brave. I promise you. But regardless, you see a guy with a gun and you act all freaking ratchet and charge towards him. What is it with people doing that? At this point, it's just natural selection, and her bloodline obviously is meant to die out. At this point, if she breeds with Xavier, he'd be doing her bloodline and collective IQ a favor. I'd actually count it as one of the greatest miracles known to mankind if her children were to make it past 3 years old under her care. They even had to tell her, hey, don't rush a guy with a gun. She can't even deduce that on her own. It would be a mercy at this point to just let her die, because she's a walking, talking danger to herself and the rest of the people here. So villain guy that, to me, honestly feels like the hero because all the rest of the cast is just annoying, says that they should all wait here for the helicopter to arrive. Crazy how he's even having this much patience after they tried to sideswipe him and blindside him and do all of this, that he would allow them to come on the helicopter. I don't think he knows about Zora's plan yet though. But they all turned against him just for no freaking reason. I mean, it may seem like a big thing, but maybe the writing and the execution of it just makes it look weird. And honestly, he holds all the cards because he has the piece. Or does he? You know, that's if his gun even still works, which it shouldn't. Unless, of course, the previous owner of the firearm just crashed there recently, which we know they didn't based on how decomposed the body was in that previous helicopter.
He's about whatever she said.
I think
Stop talking.
That's rich hearing you say that. That's something I was wishing and hoping and praying for, that you would do the entirety of the film. My ears actually felt that they could eat grass for a hot minute when your mouth was closed. I mean, it was barely a respite, though, because your sister more than filled that role and then just made it way more insufferable.
It's a generator. It must be on a timer.
The generator sounds angry.
I don't know why, but at this point in the movie, I was still expecting there to be a real horror scene, something genuinely horrific and unsettling. Let me save you the suspense. Nothing in this movie is scary. Absolutely nothing. The only quote-unquote scary thing is if you were still in the earlier part of the film, had just met all the characters, and suddenly realized you're gonna be stuck with them for the rest of the runtime. That's the real terror. Actually, scratch that. There's one thing scarier. 'Twas the moment I realized just how much deep, unshakable disdain I had for these characters, to the point where, in my true sociopathic fashion, I was actually rooting for them to just drop dead. That was scary. Not for the movie, but for what it revealed about my own patience level with the slot. I could believe a scene was terrifying if the rest of the movie's atmosphere actually set us up for terror, but it doesn't. Like I've said, they have the setups and the concepts. They even shoot the scenes so that they look like they could be ripped straight into like a horror wallpaper, and then they just never deliver. It's just surface level, no follow through whatsoever. And honestly, at this point, the only way I could see any of it being scary is if someone took like still shots from the chase scenes and turned them into creepypastas. Like here, we found an abandoned gas station in the middle of nowhere. My grandfather left me a set of rules for when I go to the gas station at night in our town. Here's what they say. I worked as a park ranger in the forest. I found an abandoned gas station. You know how the creepypastas are. Hey, you can actually glean a lot just from the scene. And you know what? I'm actually tempted to do it again. I told you guys about the last one that I made up on the spot because Dominion was so bad I had to create something to make myself feel better. I'm pretty sure there are people out there, hell, maybe even kids, who could freestyle a scarier, way more engaging story than what these writers gave us. That's how badly this was done. It's almost inspiring in like the worst way possible. I want you to see how they set up what could have been a genuinely scary scene and then watch how they completely fumble the bag. Like, I'm gonna one-up them by showing you how it could have been better, because you know how people will say, well, let's see you do better than. Trust me, with the bar set this low, it would take almost no effort for me, or honestly anyone, to do better. Here's the original setup, right? They start building suspense by showing the generator powering up this whole gas station. It's dark, shadows everywhere. As you can see here, everyone is on edge because earlier they heard a roar, so everyone's just kind of standing around and like, what was that? Was it the generator? Oh, but the roar clearly was not the generator. And it's the kind of moment where your brain is like, oh snap, this is it. We're about to get something creepy. They've got the eerie lighting, which I will give them in this movie, the uneasy body language, people twisting and turning and looking around, and the audio cue that something big is lurking nearby or that they need to be on the lookout for something. And you even got the lyrics to go along with it to the song in the background. So that's the setup. Oh, not that big. See, if you just use the still shot, then, you know, maybe you can be like, wow, it's a demon from hell. But here's why the scene just completely falls apart. I'm not just gonna nitpick it, I'm gonna show you exactly why. They go from setting up something really suspenseful, and they just go from, ooh, suspense, suspense, suspense. Let's swoop in, oh my gosh. And then here's this weird hybrid pteranodon, raptor, turkey, vulture things just plopping straight out of the sky and roaring in everyone's faces. Well, they just look at them. Like, I'm gonna come down from the sky, swoop, swoop, gotcha, roar. There was zero build-up to make these creatures feel threatening. This is the only other hybrid that we see in this movie that's a main part of the story, supposedly. And I'll show you why it's stupid. You see, earlier in the movie, we got a quick moment with the velociraptors that we don't even get to really see, where one comes in all quiet-like and immediately kills a velociraptor very quickly, like the apex predator it's shown to be, and then it just flies off with its kill, showing how powerful it is, being able to lift something that's basically its body weight into the air. And all of this should have been the foreshadowing beat to show that these things are really stealthy and lethal and intelligent enough to overpower a raptor, the most dangerous creature, most intelligent creature in the franchise. That could have set up real fear, making us dread the moment that they finally appear again. Maybe we get little glimpses of them stalking the group throughout the movie, but we never truly really see them. But instead of following through, they just like spring onto us this cheap surprise, and it's not a good one. It's not a good introduction to these things again. Even in Jurassic Park 3, the way that they did the suspense with the raptors throughout the movie, when the raptors are stalking them, you only get glimpses of the raptors here and there before they're shown to be the real issue. You saw that? You even have the setup at the beginning of Jurassic Park 3 when Sam Neill's character, Alan Grant, is telling Ellie Sattler that the raptors were really, really smart. And there's this weird undertone to it that indicates to the audience that they are very much still a danger. And we're going to see them in their natural habitat.
Working on now?
Raptors, mostly.
My favorite.
Do you remember the sounds they made?
I try not to.
Ellie, all our theories about raptor intelligence, what they were capable of, we weren't even close. Their attacks so the prey wouldn't know what was going on.
They could talk to each other.
To a degree we never imagined. Ellie, they were smart. They were smarter than dolphins or whales. They were smarter than primates.
And that right there, that is the setup about 6 minutes into the movie. Then we get the jump scare when Tia Leone is looking at one of them who is pretending as though he's one of the specimens in those gigantic containers and almost takes off her face. Old boy was sitting there still as they were all talking to each other, knowing that they were looking into the jars, and tried to camouflage, pretending like he was one of these things, the freaking body specimens inside of the vials. He knew exactly what he was doing. We even see similar intelligence with crows. They know how to trick their prey. And it's very scary to think about that the thing is not only very dangerous, but knows how to play humans and beat them at their own game. That's crazy because nobody expects it. This is how you build up suspense. How they built up the suspense with the raptors in the kitchen scene in Jurassic Park and almost every dinosaur scene in the first Jurassic Park. That is how you do suspense. You let people know that this thing is scary, but you don't show it to them, which makes them want to see it. Just when you think you're gonna see it, you don't see it. Then something happens to let you know very slowly that because this thing has happened, you're gonna end up seeing the thing that everyone has said is really scary. Then you have the thing that is scary slowly make its way onto the scene. The way that the T-Rex slowly made its appearance over the gate, and ultimately when it realized the gates were no longer powered by electricity and it wasn't getting electrocuted, and it went straight to those gates.
Dr. Grant?
This is one of my favorite scenes in cinema. The whole lead up to it, the whole night scene with the T-Rex, beautifully done. Even still, the humans weren't in direct danger at the time. The Rex was acting like an actual animal that's not used to being out of its enclosure, and it's curious, and then its attention is drawn. Then we get to see the real danger because dumbass Lex decided that she was going to try and make the freaking Jeep a lighthouse to attract the T-Rex for some godforsaken reason. I don't care how many people want to say she's just a child. She's one of those children that's meant to get eaten and killed. I'm sorry. There is not even in a child's brain would it ever occur to me as a child myself to ever do this, because all children have the natural ability to want to hide and be quiet when there's danger around. The only reason that this scene would make sense is if they rewrote it to make Lex selfless, thinking that Alan Grant and the other guy was in danger and she was trying to call the T-Rex away from them to save the grown-ups. That is the only way I could ever excuse this. And it makes me feel like there's a scene missing or something, because if she sees the T-Rex going towards them and she's like, oh no, I love Alan Grant, I love Dr. Grant, I don't want anything to happen to them, let me try and save them, because the way she just went for the flashlight to look for it kind of feels as though she saw something urgent to make her want to find something to distract the T-Rex. And notice the way she was waving it around. Also, look at where the T-Rex is when she starts doing that. Looking back at the film, I really do feel as though they cut out a scene and she was trying to save Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm by making herself a target and trying to carry it over here. But then when the T-Rex got really close, she froze in fear because she realized she was in danger. If it is written that way, then Lex is a badass, and she did sacrifice herself, and her brother for that matter, to try and save the grown-ups. Then you get a character that is one of the main characters, killed off by this thing to let you know what this animal is capable of. In Jurassic World Rebirth, there is zero version of that. There were some scenes where they had the setup for it, like the freaking pissing scene that I showed you earlier with the Velociraptor getting carried off by this thing. Then you had the Spinosaurus on the beach. I think that was set up very well because you couldn't see what the thing looked like. It was basically camouflaging and it was so quiet, and they set up something really good. And they just completely did away with that. But for Jurassic World Rebirth, as far as these Pteranodon raptors are concerned, the suspense is dead the second that they land directly in front of the group and roar like they're posing for the freaking trailer. And then to make matters worse, the scene is undercut by the resident funny dumbass of the group saying immediately, "Oh no, not that thing again." Like this is funny. It's not even real dialogue someone would say in a situation like this. This isn't a freaking Will Ferrell movie. So why are we getting Will Ferrell energy in what's supposed to be a high stakes dinosaur horror moment? Near the end of the film, we are an hour and 43 minutes in the final act. It's like they're allergic to letting tension actually exist for more than 5 seconds. Run! What is this, the Land Before Time? Why are these things just standing there? Why are they just like, oh, yay, got you now, standing there and just roaring at everyone like they're waiting for the humans to escape so they can stage a fake freaking, oh, I almost caught them moment for the audience? It's so maddening. Like, by this point in the movie, like, a bunch of these adults should be dead. Somebody should have been torn apart to show that there is real danger and there's stakes here, but nope. Nope, none of these freaking Johns die. None of them. And it's not like there weren't obvious opportunities. You want to make these hybrid monsters feel like actual threats? Have them take out one of the main characters, the ones that, you know, are the stars that, let's be honest, nobody cares about anyway, just to prove that they're lethal. Or better yet, use this moment to hit the audience where it hurts. Scarlett Johansson's character, maybe she loses an arm, and suddenly they're like pressed for time because she's bleeding out. What in the meth? Her face. Good lord. I'm sorry. But yeah, take her character out. I love Scarlett, but take her character out or maim her. The confident, capable person that's really cocky that we've been seeing up until this point is now reduced to someone who barely is hanging on to life, which would add urgency and tension. Or maybe Duncan, who we know is a strong presence, throws himself in front of her, saves Zora's life, but ends up in a really brutal, urgent situation himself. Now Zora has to deal with PTSD on top of everything else because she loves Duncan and has already lost someone close to her before. Remember that whole subplot about her like losing her partner off screen and she's like really broken up about it and then it never is brought up again? Yeah, this is where you would use it. Hell, maybe even have the older daughter die. I'd respect the film if it actually had the guts to do that or kill off her boyfriend or something, but do it with a little bit of weight to it. Give him that hero moment where, you know, his half-baked character arc actually pays off for us. Let him throw himself between her, because we've shown also, or we've seen in the movie, that he'll sacrifice himself. He'll step up to the plate when it comes to that. So let him throw himself between her and the raptor Saurus mid-strike, holding it off long enough to let her escape. Maybe one of the creatures carries him off. She's screaming. She realizes he's gone. Her boyfriend's gone, but he died braver and more of a man than anyone thought he would be. He lived up and redeemed himself. There are so many ways that they could have made this whole encounter with these things work. Like ways that would make these creatures feel like the actual apex predators that they were setting them up to be instead of gimmicky universal theme park props. And they chose none of them. Yet somehow, these are supposed to be the big baddies that we're supposed to be afraid of. Dear God, you see what I'm talking about? Little girls just like loping in. I'm just running from the rain. Not a problem in sight. And then this thing just swoops down and these are the same creatures, by the way. We literally saw earlier stealthily like swoop in, overpower, and carry off a velociraptor. The creature that is the most dangerous, best hunter in the franchise. An animal built for speed, agility, and lethality. Lethality? Is that a word? Whatever. And they presented these creatures the freaking raptor, winged raptor, mutodon things that way specifically to show us how dangerous they are and to let us know that the velociraptors aren't the thing we should be afraid of this time around. It's this thing, a mutated velociraptor that can fly. Yet somehow when it comes to humans who are jogging, these things suddenly move like they've got ankle weights on them, and they're extremely clumsy and slipping and doing everything in their power to avoid catching the human beings. If these hybrids, because let's face it, that's what they are, want to rebrand them and call them mutants, they're still literally just hybrids. We're truly interested in hunting the humans. They do exactly what they did with the raptors. They swoop in, snatch someone right off the ground, kill them, and fly away. End of scene. But Jurassic World Rebirth completely neuters these mutodons, that's what they're called, just nerfs them to all hell. No aerial attacks, no strategic kills, nothing that actually shows off the traits that they're supposed to have been bred for or that they showed to have. They just land and roar and chase people on foot like they forgot they have freaking wings and also forget how terrifying they're supposed to be. It's really bad continuity and bad creature logic. Like, the filmmakers set up these things as aerial apex predators. That's how we were introduced to them, and then they never let them act like it when it really actually matters. In the final act, they want all of this for the trailers, and look at all the wallpaper. And I'm not gonna lie, the wallpaper would look badass, but that's like literally all they're good for. No danger, payoff like they promised us, or made us think that we were gonna get. This is why people are not seeing movies anymore, by the way. We're tired of being teased and not having any payoff. And then the other thing is that we don't ever get to actually see any intelligence from these creatures whatsoever. Like, nothing is in those brains. Nothing at all. They're supposed to be mixed with velociraptors, so we're supposed to be getting ferocity along with the intellect of a velociraptor. You know, what if the whole velociraptor could fly kind of deal? But they are more stupid than the dumbest dinosaurs that we've seen in the franchise.
What are they? I don't know, they're mutant as shit!
What kind of dialogue is this? What are these lines? What is this script? Nobody would say half of the shit in the moment it's delivered. Oh my god. I'm gonna call it right now. Whatever bargain, freaking clearance sale bin chatbot they clearly used to churn this out, please never use it again. There's something to be said for actual human input and ditching AI when it comes to genuine creativity, because if this is the result, we're in some deep shit. Case in point, they want to hammer home that these creatures are not hybrids. So they have one of the brain-dead characters blurt out, I don't know, they're mutant as shit. Nobody would be saying, nobody talks like that. Nobody would be even asking the question that they asked at that moment in time. Oh lord. I get what they're doing and that makes it more cringe. They're like forcing the exposition thing and trying to pretend it's banter or dialogue. And it's really corny. It's very overplayed, especially in this movie. And it just feels painfully out of place considering the situation that they're in. It's like the script is like trying to wink at the audience and like, you know, hey guys, like, we delivered on what we marketed. They're mutants, don't you know? And to add insult to injury, we get another entry into this cinematic case study of how to make the worst movie ever. So, remember Dolores, the goddamn dinosaur, the imaginary dinosaur? Of course the movie wants us to believe it's real, but I have an even stronger feeling that it's not. As I said before, I think it's just a little girl's coping mechanism, her way of dealing with terrifying situations so she doesn't mentally break when there are dinosaurs or other dangers around, particularly when it comes to dinosaurs. And I pointed this out earlier. They traveled really, really far. This thing is supposedly afraid of the T-Rex and other large creatures, and yet they get swept down a fast-moving river on a raft, the family, covering a massive distance over a long period of time, and guess who magically shows up?
Come on, get to the back!
I swear to God, like, I'm trying so hard to keep it together, but I'm so done right now. I mean, I know I've said I've disliked some of the other Jurassic Park movies, particularly the last two, but I think I can, with all the conviction within me, honestly say that I hate this movie to pieces. I would bring this movie to life in cybernetic human form and program it to drop dead just so I can look at it and instruct it to do so. So there they are in the gas station shop looking terrified for absolutely no reason, because we already know nothing is going to happen to them because this movie has made it crystal clear nobody is in any real danger. And remember how I said it would have actually made sense for them to use the creatures the way that they were bred to hunt or shown to hunt? you know, swooping down from the sky, snatching someone off the ground, maybe even carrying them away? That would have been logical, threatening, and actually really scary. But no, look at what they choose to do instead in the very next scene. This is where I just want to pull all my hair out.
Wow.
So, why did it land and just roar at them? Like, what? Roar, like, oh my god, you guys are running. I'm not gonna take flight or chase you. Roar, like. This is why I keep calling it the Land Before Time. I can't take this. I swear to God, like, they had the perfect opportunity for these things to swoop in and just snatch one of these dudes off the freaking ground. Like, what is happening? Like, just look, they're right there. They're even lighter than the raptor you were chasing. What in the world? You, like, swoop in and take one of them off the ground or kill them. Or at very least, like, make a credible attempt before the plot armor inevitably kicks in. Even a failed grab, you know, swoop and grab and ooh, it misses, oh no. That would have been enough to add at least some tension and made them feel like actual predators. Nope, even that was too much. It just lands and stares at them, waits for them to get a safe distance away, and just like roars like it's posing for the trailer. This is gonna be a good shot for the trailer. Ready, guys? Ready? Get far enough away, and then as you do, I'm gonna charge up. And this is what now passes for a dinosaur horror movie. This is what people were hyping up as horror. This is what some assholes were saying was returning to form. I don't know what movie they saw in the test screenings, but like, how do you look at this and then look at Jurassic Park, the original, and say this is just like the original or the closest to the original in the other movies? 2 and 3 included. I'm deceased. This thing supposedly, look, every time it lands, like this thing supposedly wants to get to them so badly, yet it only decides to put in a real effort the moment that they're in a spot where they can slam a door and be safe. Suddenly, oh, it's lunging and snapping and acting like, oh, I'm such a relentless killer, I'm gonna get you guys. And that's how it was kind of hyped up. But only when the script knows it can't actually hurt the idiots. It's so annoying to me. I hate when movies do this. It's the fakest kind of tension building ever. It's all bark and there's no bite possible whatsoever. If the danger only kicks in at the most convenient, no stakes moment, then the audience is going to stop believing that these creatures are dangerous at all. Hence why everyone starts to lose faith in these movies. Hence why they are no longer scary and nobody cares. It's kind of the same thing as like watching your cat or your dog pawing at some kind of, like, maybe it's a glass enclosure or a fish tank. Yeah, like you fish and the cat's pawing at it. It's like reinforced and it looks all dramatic. Oh no, look, it's gonna get them. No, it doesn't. You know nothing's gonna happen, so there's no reason to invest in any story that's happening because it's just gonna be fine. Cat is gonna be fine. No drama insert needed. Well, this isn't when they're inside the lab now from the beginning of the movie. And this is supposed to be a play on Jurassic Park 3, like I showed you earlier, except that everything that they try to do here to pay homage to the previous movies ends up failing.
What is this place?
It's a lab. Crossbreeding, mutations. It's where it'll happen.
Ew. Once again, we get force-fed the reminder that these are mutants, not hybrids. He has to say it. The script is just trying so hard to make it stick. Crossbreeding, mutations. Like we're goldfish that's gonna forget in 5 seconds unless they repeat it for us continuously. Remember, guys? Remember? Spoon-fed audience? These aren't hybrids, because you said you didn't want hybrids anymore. Oh no, these are mutants. When mutants that are created through crossbreeding and genetic tinkering are by definition still hybrids. They've basically made hybridized versions of dinosaurs and just slapped a different label on it, like a lazy rebrand. It's the same thing, just in a completely different package. And the movie's acting like it's doing the Jurassic Park fans a favor by pointing it out over and over and over again. And this stupid thing has absolutely no idea how to get to them. It doesn't use a shred of intelligence. Remember, it's supposedly mixed with a velociraptor, which is when I start thinking they should have just made it a completely different creature altogether. Why even bother pointing out or implying that it has raptor DNA if there's zero intelligence on display in the movie? We've seen that there are multiples of these things, so there's at least a hint that they hunt in packs or have some kind of social structure. But do they actually hunt like raptors? Nope, which is hilarious, because both pteranodons and raptors do have social structures, at least in this universe. Packs, flocks, whatever you want to call them. And you'd think combining them would lead to some terrifying coordinated aerial pack hunting behavior. Nope, get none of that. Then we get this gem. The business guy is handcuffed to the suitcase with the vials in it. And when the Dollar Tree Batman Velocipaster swoops in and carries the suitcase in the air, I guess the handcuffs like magically break or something equally convenient, because he falls and he makes a ton of noise when he hits the ground. Loud enough to echo through the scene, and yet the creature lands in a completely different direction, like it has no clue where it just dropped him. So on top of them being stupid and useless, they're also blind, I guess, which would have made it very interesting. I'm really left wondering if these things are legitimately blind, not even being funny.
Dolores! You found us.
And this batshit crazy twit, no one can see this thing except you. This kid's gonna need some therapy. Why is she even here? The father's a piece of shit also, because he knows this whole area is quarantined and illegal to pass through, and yet he carried his children over here knowing that it's dangerous for a reason. So the reason that they're even all in this situation is because of him. And the thing is, he takes absolutely zero accountability for his actions. I don't know if he's still married to their mother, but I can guarantee she's never gonna want him to take the kids again, and I wouldn't blame her in this case. They even said something along those lines. Not to mention the boyfriend's mother or parents. But I'm gonna take a guess that the father and the mom are actually divorced, because otherwise they'd be together, and I think they kind of implied that earlier. And it's kind of on brand, because Jurassic Park apparently doesn't like marriages. Every single person, every single couple, when it comes to the main characters, are divorced. Even if they get back together in some way, shape, or fashion, they never do so by getting married. They're usually broken up or something along those lines. I mean, it started with Alan Grant and Ellie, and they were still together, but then they broke up. Ian Malcolm divorced from all his wives. The Kirbys divorced. Owen and Claire broken up. Then they eventually got back together. Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant, they got back together, but only after Ellie divorced her other husband, or her actual husband. So yeah, they may get back together eventually, but they never do so by getting married, like I said. So the flying things are eating their way through the roof, and this little baby back bitch is sitting here feeding this imaginary dinosaur, which makes her a huge liability, because even if this little thing was real, why would you be doing this at this moment in time? The little piece of shit dinosaur knows that it's in danger. You think it's gonna want to eat at this moment in time while it's being actively hunted? That's how you know it's not real. And the only reason the scene exists is so we can have a retelling, a refilling, rehashing, beating of the dead horse over the kitchen scene of Jurassic Park from the original, a scene that to this day none of the other Jurassic Park movies have been able to recreate successfully. Stop doing it. It's annoying. It's bad enough other movies do it when it just comes to monster movies in general, but to have the Jurassic World movies doing it over and over again, when you don't even see the second or third Jurassic Park movie do it, just makes the people look as though they're completely devoid of any originality or creativity. You know how AI art generators start cranking out the same bland, oversaturated results because the inputs are stale and the model is stuck in some kind of feedback loop? That's exactly what this feels like, which honestly makes me think that they are using AI to write these scripts, and that's me being very, very generous, because the alternative is that a human, an Homo sapien, a human being, actually sat down, thought about it, and chose to write this. Which, if that's the result of your writing, then your mind is not much of one. You need help, because these are signs of dementia or deterioration of the mind. I wish I had someone that I paid to slap the shit out of me right now so I can feel better. I know some of you out there would do it for free, and I would let you, because that's how angry the script is making me. The dinosaur is barely out of the shot, and you immediately, not even a second passes, and you remove your sweater, like, look, or whatever it is, from the light, because she's using it to block the light. And not only that, look, the dinosaur isn't even fully out of the shot. It's like, this was his face, turns away, starts moving. You can even see the reflection of it still there before she freaking moves. The tail is still there. Yo, the tail is still there, bro. It's not even out of the freaking shot. Bloody, what are you doing? I sound like those people fighting.
Fucking you, bloody, bloody, bastard, bitch, fuck you, bloody.
Why do people in movies do that? Like, like that they can't turn around and see you as soon as you create movement right behind it, you freaking idiot. It's why kids annoy me in this franchise. Like, look, okay, she removes it, right? She removes the light, puts it away, doesn't even have it at the ready to put it back up when it's needed, and then opens the door. The thing hasn't even fully left the area. Look at its tail. See how long the tail is? It's above, and before the tail is even fully away, she pushes open the door. This is why I hate kids in the franchise. I mean, the adults are just as stupid too, but the kids, like, they do the dumbest things, and then somehow they make it out completely unscathed. In the real world, this animal would have turned around immediately and ripped her limb from limb, as she would have deserved. Because if anything, these freezers make noise when you try to pop them open. Look, the thing is right there. Like, look, it's not... Also, these creatures are not scary. I know I'm saying that, I'm not face to face with one, but as the audience member watching this, these things are not scary. What would have been scary is if we had them all arrive at the gas station, hear the noise, hear the roaring in the background, and already have instances of these mutodons stalking them every now and then throughout the movie, but then not being sure that they're there. Or, you know, having seen evidence of the mutodons having killed other things, mutodons. Every time I say mutodons, I think about Mutahar. I don't know why.
We're talking tongue in mouth. We made out.
Then when they arrive at the gas station, everything seems hunky-dory. So maybe you hear something being killed in the distance and you're wondering, oh, what the hell's going on? Or what's making that noise? Or what's crying for its life? Also, give these animals some motivation, because after they kill one person, it wouldn't make sense for them to keep going after everybody else. They're not big enough to warrant the behavior of hunting every human here just simply for the sake of food. This would have to be some kind of nesting site to make these animals feel as though the humans are a threat enough to kill them and go from one human to the next, especially with how much effort they're putting in to catch them, apparently. So, motivation. Maybe the gas station is a nesting ground and they accidentally step in one of their eggs or something. I know it's cliche, but that makes sense. I'm speeding along, but you can set up the tension for this. And since they're stealing from the other Jurassic Park movies, it wouldn't be a problem stealing this again and recreating a scene similar to that of Jurassic Park: The Lost World, where mommy gets very angry and we're like, oh shit, they're here for a reason and hunting us because we took their freaking baby. Or in JP3, where the whole pack gets upset. But now it's a pack of these things that are like honeybees trying to locate what killed one of their eggs. They are supposed to be more fierce than the animals that they are hybrids of. So as the human cast is trying to find a phone or a safe place to lay low while they're waiting for the helicopter, let's say that one of them hears the faint crackle of a radio and heads towards it, thinking that someone might be trying to reach them. Now, just hear me out for a second, because this is how I would have written it. But when the first person gets there, there's a short scream that is cut off really abruptly, leaving only the static of the radio and the voice on the other end calling out to see who's there and asking them to respond, while the rest of the group is calling out to their missing comrade and slowly moving towards a source of the noise, not realizing that the person may have gone behind the counter or some other obstruction that keeps both them and the audience from seeing what happened. So that creates suspense as we and the people, the rest of the cast, is forced to watch in real time whatever is behind that counter begin to emerge. And as the flickering fluorescent lights in the gas station blink on and off, the long, narrow face of the Mutodon, hidden for the entire runtime of the film, slowly comes into view. And what makes the moment really haunting is that the sound of the radio and the human voice calling for help is directly like coming from the creature's mouth. Like its jaws are moving in such a way that it perfectly mimics the voice and the tone and the static of the radio, revealing that it is capable of imitation and suggesting that it not only hunts its prey, but also learns from it. That would be terrifying if it sounds like the freaking radio. And we already had a dinosaur that can camouflage.
It can camouflage!
And I did a similar scene in one of my fan fictions, or like, well, it's original story, but it was inspired by one of the scenes in Dominion. And I would have loved to see something like that here, because that would have made sense. We know that raptors are very vocal creatures and have the ability to produce a wide range of sounds. And if they're presumed to be smarter than whales and dolphins or primates, like what Alan Grant was suggesting, then it would stand to reason that they might have different dialects, and much like many of today's highly intelligent birds, such as crows and ravens, they could develop the ability to mimic sounds they know will draw humans in. That is terrifying. Got a little bit of that from the movie Annihilation. Notice how they built up the tension in this movie.
Oh, yes. You said she was dead.
Yes, I've got it!
Notice how in Annihilation they set up the tension here. This movie was, whew, I think it's one of the best pieces of sci-fi I've seen. It was very slow and had a very slow burn, but oh my god, if you're into sci-fi and different worlds and creepy, trippy things, this is the movie for you. But this scene stands out as one of the best scenes I've seen in cinema when it comes to tension and suspense and fear. Holy shit. Take some inspiration from this, because they hadn't seen this. They just know this thing is weird. Look, they don't show what happens. There's this woman screaming help, and then she goes in and tries to help her friend, and then she realizes, oh shit, it's a trap. This thing was using my friend to try and lure me out, like the JP3 raptors did. See, that scene for me was, chills went up my spine. No tense music needed in the moment. Whew. Every time I see that scene, I get shivers and my heart like flutters a bit. You can take inspiration from different movies, but if you're gonna do horror, take the inspiration and execute it in a way that feels new and exciting. I mean, there was a movie called Mimic that my mom had me see. There was like a few of them, and one of her favorite movies, and when she introduced it to me, oh my gosh. It took me a while, but I was like, what the hell is happening? And it's this guy going around and killing people. And then you realize, I mean, it's an old movie, but you don't want to get the spoilers. Close your ears for a second. The cockroaches, they're the size of human beings, and they're mimicking human beings. They actually made their faces look like human beings, or use their carapace to look like human. They do this so they can hunt, so people are looking for a human, and no one's thinking that it's a thing, a cockroach the size of a human. That is a great concept. That is a great way to do mimicry, especially if you have tension and suspense. I mean, mimicry isn't something new. But the application of it in this way in Jurassic Park's franchise would be, especially when it comes to vocal mimicry. To make it even more interesting, these creatures would also have to be exceptionally skilled hunters, and in true raptor fashion, the one still producing the radio noises would be stalking the people in front of it, standing perfectly still while watching them, then lowering itself into a deceptively unthreatening pose, despite the blood still wet in its mouth from the person that it just killed. Everyone keeps backing away, keeping their eyes on it, only to realize a little too late that another raptor, one that they didn't even know was there, had been silently waiting in position, and then kills one of them the moment that they step into its path, which obviously would throw the rest of the humans into chaos and yada yada. And then the entire final act would become this very tense, cat and mouse type of game with the raptors, similar to the first movie, with the raptors outsmarting the humans at every turn. And that would make them truly terrifying. And it's not just simply the fact that they're raptors with wings, but it's that they're far more intelligent than any raptor ever depicted before. But again, it's hard to write intelligence when whatever you're using to write it doesn't have much intelligence to begin with, which I'm guessing are the chatbots that they're using. Because I'm sorry, I'm choosing to be nice, but you can't convince me that a human being wrote this at this stage of the game. So then after, we get this painfully corny and poorly executed recreation of the kitchen scene, which just makes me want to slap everybody in the freaking room. Then they're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? We're in the same situation as the people from the first Jurassic Park were in. Then they're like, oh wow, look, plot device. There's this very small drain and apparently they're all able to fit through it, because of course they are. I mean, and we look at the raptor, it's like, oh look, there's their fingers. Look at how it waits so long. It would have been great if it pecked one of their fingers, but even with that, it had to wait till the last moment until they were safe enough to get away from it. Duncan and dumbass Loomis make a plan to go through the tunnel which leads to the ocean because there is a boat there, and let me guess, the boat works and the gas is completely usable. Then in comes the helicopter, and I already knew at the moment that we saw it that they're not gonna get off this island via the helicopter, because of course not. We're still waiting to see the stupid beluga whaleosaurus Rex.
I'll get the kids. You get the pilot's attention. Don't let him leave, Doc. Don't let him leave.
And what happens if he lets them leave? I mean, we need to have a plan in motion. I mean, they're flying predators at large right now, right outside, which I assume would be an issue. And then, right at this moment, as if it knows that it's being hailed for the final act, the Dickosaurus Rex makes its appearance. And we're supposed to keep in mind that this is probably the thing that took down the last helicopter. Or maybe not. Maybe it was the raptors. Who cares? My thing is, why did it just now choose to appear? Is it because it heard the helicopter? Why is it specifically sticking around the gas station? Who knows?
Bloody. You blunder.
So business guy is like, oh no, they can't find me because they're stupid. I've got to take advantage of this little bit of plot that I have. So he decides to take the car for himself because he's greedy and he's a business guy and he's rich. So he has to not care about other people because everybody that has money and wants to change the world is mean, even though he's in a situation where he's scared for his fucking life. But whatever. We all forget about him. It doesn't matter because, you know, even in the movie, well, Hammond was different. But in the books, he was a piece of shit, so there was that.
Caution, pedestrian ahead.
Well, maybe if you didn't do the stupid, hey, I'm gonna stand right in front of you and roar, dumbass pose every second, you might actually catch something. And of course, we can't have anything happen to Zora, so right before it gets to her, it hears something and someone else distracts it. Then it's like, I'm not gonna pick up on the scent of something that is clearly right here in front of me, you know, that I'm almost upon, because I'm a big hunting machine and really good at hunting. Psych. I'm gonna use more energy to go after the thing that's really far away, that's making a lot of noise, where there's a lot of them in the same spot together that have proven to be very hard to take down for some reason and catch. Then it squeezes itself like an upside down turd into the tunnels, and you have to wonder,
Why? Why?
for real, why did these things even need to have wings if for the majority of their screen time they don't need to use them or barely ever use them? What was the point in making them mutants? Sorry, hybrid creatures when the features that should have added to their hunting skill are barely ever used. So Zora decides to go right after it and save the others because they don't know that this thing is headed towards them in the tunnel. You know, the other cast members that we want to die, but they never do because the writers have something against killing off the main characters in these movies. Also, what was really funny about this is that she saw this thing heading towards them. And this entire time when the thing was looking for her right across from here, and it's trying to kill everybody and hunt her, it was literally right in front of her. And you're telling me that this entire time she had the gun on her and never used it when she had this thing dead to rights. It's actively hunting you and trying to kill people, and there's a child involved. But now when it goes after them, now is the time when the plot requires her to now take out the gun to use it. when it's already gotten away from you? What the fuck are these characters? And like I said, it's so nauseatingly annoying because we know that nothing's gonna happen to these characters, so I don't even know why she's worried, because the writers literally do have something against killing off the main characters in these later movies. Not that it bears repeating. Just like with that stupid-ass movie, Jurassic World Dominion, what we had about, like, what, 12, 20, 30 people in the main cast, and they all made it out unscathed. Every single one of them. Oh, look at us like we're quivering in fear. Oh no, but we're all okay. We're all gonna make it. This looks like a really bad album cover for something. Maybe people, it's part of a school project and the parents are helping out. So stupid Dr. Loomis is like, rawr, rawr, guys, wait, we need you. And he needs to get the helicopter's attention because they're about to leave, so he needs to get the frickin' flare. And don't worry, he successfully gets their attention. I bet you they're not gonna use the flare to draw a dinosaur at some point in this freaking movie, and he successfully gets their attention, like I said. We're supposed to believe everything's going to be all right, which we know it's not. And then comes the scene from Godzilla 2014, when the flares are like, you know, the lights ascending among the fog that came out of nowhere. We get this backdrop of the D-Rex shrouded in the fog or smoke. Ew, look at his dumb face. Only for it to be revealed that, oh no, surprise, surprise, dumbass. It's got the helicopter. Oh my, you thought you were getting away. I want you to see me eating it. That's why I'm revealing my face. Because, you know, we need kaiju and all that, and that's what this thing functions as. That's literally it. Because remember, guys, kaiju movies did so well, so let's make a kaiju that moves very slow, but has nothing else up its sleeve in terms of skill in the Jurassic Park movie that used this as a very big marketing ploy. Also, I want you to take note of how big this thing is. Keep that shot in mind, right? The little people that are supposed to be in here, those are seats in there. Look how big the door is. You probably have to lean out of it or bend a little bit in a helicopter, maybe. And I want you to take note of that. So let's just pretend the height of the door, the little opening here, you can say that's about the length of or the height of a human being. And look at this thing's mouth, right? So with that in mind, human being would probably be right around here. I don't know why he's jerking us, whatever. Just pretend. I don't know why I jerk like that. Whatever. But let's just say that's the size of a human being. That's a taller human being. So that would be the size. That would be the size. If you're drawing a square, that's a little bit longer. But just keep this in mind. Keep that in mind. Pretend this is a human being, and that's how big it would be compared to the Dick Rex. You got it? Anyway, guess they're not taking the helicopter. Oh no, how unfortunate. Whee! There you go.
Oh, thank God.
Get us out of here.
Can one of the dinosaurs just punch this little bitch in the throat? You're asking someone to help you and you're demanding that he get you out of there? Why is she such a fucking brat? It's so unnecessary. It makes her so unlikable. And the worst part is that nothing bad ever happens to her. Not even a scratch, which is not a payoff in the slightest. At least in those old school horror movies our parents used to watch, the stupid characters had horrible things happen to them. The dumbest and brattiest characters almost always got killed off. Nope. Cannot look at that scene. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. That is the movie It Follows. The scene always makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Just very unsettling. Ugh, I can't watch it. I can't watch it alone. And even if I watch it alone, it's gonna be burned into my brain for the next few weeks. I'm gonna be seeing it in the hallways. Takes a lot to scare me with horror movies, but this is one of those scenes that's, whew. Nope. Anyways, when those dumb characters got killed off, it always felt warranted. Or stupid characters. They would do the dumbest things, and they get killed off, and you're like, you know what? Yep, that you kind of deserve that. When Joffrey from Game of Thrones met his horrific demise, it was pure payoff. Pretty sure everybody was laughing like, yeah, that's what that little bitch ass gets. Yes, die. Die slowly and tortured. The only person in this I felt bad for was Jaime, because that was his father. I mean, nobody knew. I mean, everyone probably knows, let's be honest. But he was the best person. Him and Tyrion were the best people out of the entire family, and they seemed like legitimately good people. So you do feel bad for, well, not for Tyrion, but he didn't care. But for Jaime, watching your child, even though your child's a little piece of shit, it's embedded within parents to love their children no matter what. So you do feel bad for him. Sorry, I had to watch this again. I'm sorry, I'm so sidetracked. I always believe that no parent should ever have to bury and watch their child die. That is until Joffrey existed. Like, literally the only person who's ever upset his mom, Gendry Baratheon, black of hair, Stannis Baratheon, lack of hair. Robert Baratheon, lack of air. Joffrey Baratheon, lack of air. Help the poor boy. Idiots, help your king. The murderer said. The murderer said. There you go. And we didn't get that with Cersei, funny enough, which was the one thing that really pissed me off. A lot of people felt the same way too. She got to die in the arms of the man she loved, and the only person who ever loved her, who was also the father to her children and her unborn child, and just happened to be her brother. And she went way too quickly, which is insane to me. That is how not to give people a payoff, because you really didn't give us one here. I don't even know what happened with this, but this was freaking weird. In normal movies, especially supposed horror movies, for us to have characters who are completely insufferable and then for there to be a satisfying moment where they finally get what's coming to them, whether it's a throat slash or some really gruesome fate, so the audience can collectively say, thank goodness that asshole is gone. That's what's expected. When you don't give us that, we're left with nothing but resentment for the character and the film itself, and even the writers. Especially when all of the above tries to gaslight us into believing that the insufferable person is actually one of the good guys. So Duncan starts to come up with a plan for them to follow the drainage tunnel, which takes them out to the sea. The batshit crazy little girl asks Duncan, what if the boat doesn't work? Which is a worthy question to ask. But his answer is,
I'm not gonna let you get hurt, okay?
I mean, you weren't in the gas station with them where they very clearly could have gotten hurt. Not to be rude, but you didn't even answer her question. If the boat doesn't work, you need a backup plan. If you're dead or something happens to you between the time you're trying to get to the boat and the moment you're standing here, sitting here, whatever, it would behoove you, especially as one with military experience, to at least equip them with a backup plan so they know what to do in case you're gone. You're not God Almighty, and if you were, you wouldn't be sitting here hiding for your life in a drain pipe from things on the surface that clearly, obviously don't know how to kill you effectively. Anyway, so business guy is running pell-mell trying to get to the docks or the helicopter or wherever, just like Nedry from the first Jurassic Park movie, and then he runs into freaking Bumpy from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous and ends up on a different road which takes him to the docks. Meanwhile, Zora catches up with the group and in the nick of time, she's able to save their lives. So many things wrong here. First of all, I'm actually shocked that guns even work in the Jurassic Park franchise. Though I guess they had to go that route after what happened with Blue in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but for all the bravado that this scene was supposed to have, it's ridiculous that all it took was a handgun to drop this thing. And then there's the detail that she's supposedly out of bullets, right? Here's where I'm probably gonna annoy someone, or probably embarrass myself, because maybe my eyes aren't working correctly, but she's out of bullets, yet the slide, unless I'm hallucinating or something, or this is a special kind of piece, isn't locked back to indicate an empty magazine. If you're gonna have characters with a military background using firearms in a movie like this, I mean, it shouldn't be like super rocket science. Hollywood should have had this down by now. Show the gun realistically. The slide lock back, visibly spent, or like I said, maybe I'm missing something. Then there's the fact that she starts firing without so much as a warning to tell the people in her line of fire to move. No get down, no warning, just starts bucking shots as if she can magically phase bullets through people's heads. There is a child there. But they do this to surprise the audience, like, oh no, you thought she was shooting them, but she's actually shooting at something behind them. Not to mention they're in a situation where bullets can ricochet, and you don't know how these people are gonna react. But this is all for the sake of making her look like some badass girl boss, when she could have easily killed one of them. Very irresponsible, and it doesn't make her look like a very nice person at all, or someone who has a full deck of cards. Plus, the thing is far enough away and stalking that she didn't need to start firing shots like that. She had time to tell them, get the fuck down. What if they reacted badly thinking she was gonna shoot them, and then they jumped in the way in the wrong direction, because people are very unpredictable. Anyway, so this thing doesn't even try to move. Like, it's supposed to be able to see in the dark or whatever. But this is the thing that we're supposed to be scared of. And it got popped like a freaking tick being injected with peroxide. And that's it. How, climactic. So, unfortunately for them, the gate is locked. And they need someone to be able to get to the other side to open the gate so they can get out. why there's not, whatever. And of course, time is of the essence because there are more of these things coming, even though they're intelligent enough to know that one of their comrades got popped, but yet they're still coming after these people with no motivation whatsoever and with no care as to whether or not they get shot or the people have more weapons. So Dora the Explorer decides that she's going to go through the gate because that's a logical thing to do, and they're all screaming, "No, come back! Come back and wait," which, I don't know. She needs to start pulling her weight, am I right? Like, none of you were getting out of here, so what do you expect her to do? Stay in there with all of you and get killed with the rest of you? At least she would have earned her stripes. Let her go out there, and if she gets killed, she gets killed.
If he gets to the boat before, she'll take that too. Come on, Steve, we gotta go. Find the power button.
Okay, and again, she's doing something brave in a situation where she's terrified, and voila. Saucy McFirelips, the Aqualops, shows up again and just happens to be neatly tucked away in her book bag, where it remains even though it's scared to death and sees a hunter coming straight towards them, and the little girl is not moving from the spot. If you need any more proof that this thing isn't real, you're hopeless. They never really built up how scared we're supposed to be of this thing because it moves at the speed of molasses. Furthermore, the stupid bitch that's screaming is terrified, but yet she's deciding to stand right up next to, right under where the raptor mutant is. Maybe that's a good thing, so she can get eaten first when it makes its way down. Good job making yourself a sacrifice is the least you could do. This thing can see, as far as we know. And it takes its sweet time, but it completely ignores the little girl that's literally right there. She's right there out in the open with bright colors and moving, and decides it's gonna go for the adults that are behind the barrier or in this much smaller space in the dark instead. This is why I hate kids in this franchise.
Excess speed. Slow down. Caution, pedestrian ahead.
And of course, we can't have any danger for the main character, so they wrote it in such a way where the guy is coming back instead of going to the docks for some reason. He comes all the way back for some godforsaken reason and doesn't see the D-Rex and flies right into it so that the cast can be okay and he can get killed because he's the bad guy. Remember? And remember Owen Grady in Jurassic World where he's like, close the gate. You remember Jurassic World with Owen Grady and the raptor guys?
Now!
Wow, how stunning and brave and original, how breathtakingly entertaining. Now, do you remember the scene where it ate the helicopter and how big the helicopter is? If you don't remember, here is a refresher for you. There you go. Here's the scene with the helicopter. Now, if you remember the height of the opening of the helicopter, right? This is a flying vehicle. It's supposed to be around the height of an actual person. This was a flying vehicle that was meant to hold several people inside of it, and yet it was able to fit inside this thing's mouth. And it's not even opening its jaws all the way. Look at the picture of the freaking thing and this man, and please tell me if this is exactly the same creature as we saw take down the helicopter. I'll put them side by side so you can see. Just take a look at that for a second. Now, judging from the creature, the size of the creature's head, does it not look like the man that he's holding is literally the length of the helicopter? I'll leave it on the screen for a few seconds so you guys can see it. Are you ready? Congratulations, Universal Studios, for the Jurassic Park franchise has now officially become the new Asylum Studios. You know, those low-budget movies that people used to love watching me lose my mind over Dumb Movie Mondays? Now co-opted by the Jurassic Park franchise and other modern-day movies, just with a shinier skin. This thing can shrink its head when needed, or this man can blow up in size when needed. Maybe it's like a pufferfish or something, and he can increase his size ×3 to prevent something from swallowing him. right? Maybe he's some kind of alien human that we didn't know was in disguise. Either that, or there are 2 of these freaking D-Rexes with beluga melons for heads, because otherwise the scene makes no sense. And I'm actually surprised that we got to see a severed hand, because with how averse they are to showing blood when it's connected to people, like, it's easy to forget this is an actual dinosaur movie where dinosaurs eat people and attack them. But yeah, of course, the evil guy, the rich guy, gets attacked. Why don't the good guys ever get attacked anymore? Or hurt or killed? The main ones, the main cast, I mean, the ones that are not expendables. And why is she acting so terrified, as though she's never seen a severed hand before? With how much experience she has and how badass they've shown her to be in this movie, you would think this is the last expression you'd see her having over seeing a severed hand. For crying out loud, she saw her friends butchered in front of her and carried off by dinosaurs and mauled, and she didn't blink an eye, but a complete stranger that she hated, she sees his severed hand and starts losing her shit.
The power.
Here, take this.
I got it, turn it on. The hoist is broken. It's jammed. Come on, come on.
I love how they keep manufacturing drama and tension where there's absolutely none. I swear they only put in scenes like this so they can splice them into the trailer and trick people into thinking it's going to be a horror movie when absolutely nothing happens. Come on, lower the boat so we can get away from the thing that's slower than molasses.
It's attracted to light. Turn it off.
If it's attracted to light, then why is it just looking at the little girl? Like, the light is over there. It's like, oh, I see it. And then it sees a little girl and completely ignores the light. How did they come to that conclusion then it was attracted to the light? You'd think that if they suddenly turned off the lights, that the dinosaur is going to be all like, oh shit, Marco Polo, I can't see you anymore. Guess I'm just going to leave. Oh wait, is this another excuse so they can use the fucking flare scene that they've been doing to death in the Jurassic World movies because the first movie did it? By the way, with how painstakingly slow this thing is moving, they've been standing there so long that they had time. They could have run in circles around it by now and still had time to end up in an entirely different country, moving so fast in comparison, and they might as well be cutting through time like a fucking Flash. Look at them. Oh no, it's upon us. Whatever are we going to do?
Give me the flares. I got it, go. No, the hell are you doing? Right. You want me? Come on!
So they've recreated the scene where Lex turned on the flashlight and the T-Rex started attacking the kids. And then they're like, oh no, we gotta do something. Then someone had to come out with the flare to bring it away from the kids and everyone else. Notice how Alan Grant does this. You know, oh, its vision is based on movement, not necessarily light. And then he tells Ian to freeze because if he's moving wildly, guess what? The flare ain't gonna do shit. And we see it here when Ian is like, oh shit, it's coming after me. Throw away the flare. Bitch, I don't want the flare. I want the meat. If you are moving, the flare doesn't really do anything. Yeah, you can catch its attention with the flare, but if you're moving, the light doesn't do jack. So they're trying to say that the D-Rex is attracted to light, but I'm pretty sure if he had run in the way and was doing a bunch of other things, the D-Rex would have still seen him anyway. I mean, the little girl's not even moving and it's attracted to her. This movie's so inconsistent. Technically, I mean, he shouldn't be looking at her because in the last scene when she was standing there moving when she was trying to open the gate, she literally was right there and she wasn't standing still, she was still moving, and it ignored her to go look at these guys because, oh, the gate's opening, so I'm gonna ignore the fact that the thing closest to me with bright clothes is standing right there even though it's clearly moving. But now in this scene where she's standing stark still, now all of a sudden everybody else moving around her, it decides to hone in on her, the only still moving object that's completely stationary when everything else around them is moving. Like, come on. Or rather, I think it was Dominion when they were like, oh, let's just take a flare. Hey, you little dinosaur, let's just follow the light. Even though there's no reason evolutionarily why you would have a reason to do that, following a bright light like this as a freaking sauropod. That's the thing they use in the other movies to get dinosaurs to follow people, so I guess we're gonna use it too. Look at all of us. Now we're gonna follow the flare for no reason. Wow, very original. Oh my god, I'm gonna slap the freaking screen. And I want to make it into a person. Feed it and put it in a vat and grow its body, and then give it a consciousness and feelings, and then fucking kick the shit out of its gonads how fucking stupid this script is. Also, how does Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali end up in this situation? It's so sad to see really good actors end up taking roles like this. This is honestly irritatingly sad and not good for their career at all. And I'm just looking at this movie and I'm just finding it so hilariously funny to see everyone freaking out when this thing can barely move.
This way! Come on!
Duncan! Duncan!
Hey! Come on!
Mind you, I'm playing this on almost double speed and it's still moving slowly.
Duncan!
This way! Hey! Get your sister! Get your sister! Get out of here! Go! Come here! This way! Come on!
Duncan! Duncan!
Hey! Come on! Don't wait, Zora! Get the kids!
What the frick is going? It's barely moving! What in the world? Why are you guys freaking out?
Go!
Come on!
Save them!
This is so bad. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed for these actors. I'm embarrassed for everybody involved in the making of this film. Good lord. Did y'all lose a bet or something? No shade to people who enjoyed it, because I know there's people who enjoyed it. Enjoy it. Bless your little hearts. I'm happy for you. This is not a personal attack on you. You enjoy what you enjoy. So I'm not addressing you. Don't get all personally up in your feelings. But it is an embarrassingly bad movie. This thing is barely moving. I'm not making it up. You can see it. It's barely moving. It's the equivalent, like, to the environment around it, basically. It's moving so slow, it's basically at a standstill, bro. And everybody is losing their ever-loving minds. You can have this thing chase you, or if it's attracted to light, run into the forest and throw the flare just like Alan Grant did, since you want to use that so much, and then run back the other way. Trust me, you would be fine. This thing clearly doesn't have any intelligence, and it moves in reverse, so you would be fine. Look at the... Bro, it's still moving so fucking slow. This is what it was marketed as being the xenomorph dinosaur.
How involved were you with the actual like dinosaur design, and did you know immediately like I want a xenomorph?
No, it's really hard to do. Like the xenomorph from Alien is probably, I think there'd be a very good argument, it's the best monster ever designed, and so you compete against that the whole time. And so then basically we threw that in the pot with like the Rancor monster and the Elephant Man, and a more obscure reference probably is a Chris Cunningham video, Robert Johnny. Went in, and a T-Rex, obviously. And then
there's literally no danger to this thing at all unless it catches up to you. And even when it catches up to you, which you would have to be not moving at all, or like walking in reverse so it can catch up to you, it would take still quite a while for it to even make its kill. Like, it's trying to process that you're even in front of it before it attacks, as we've seen in every case where this thing is right in front of something that it ordinarily would eat. I honestly don't even know how it's still alive with how bad of a hunter it is. Like, it looks like it's so freaking tired. Look at how it moves. Dude is like,
hey, خلاص.
Come on!
just keep in mind that when I was showing you that clip with the audio, that was almost double speed. And it still looked like it was moving in slow motion. It is barely moving. It is tired before it's even taken a step. Just moving its body is such an arduous task for this thing. He's wading through the water, and the thing still hasn't reached him.
Come on!
I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing. This is so bad. Jesus Christ. This is insultingly bad. This is what happens when you write something half asleep while high on fentanyl. This is why teachers usually tell us to proofread your work or have it peer reviewed. This seems to be some kind of humiliation kink that the script writers have put in place so that they can be humiliated, and they put this out there so they can be humiliated. Somebody somewhere likes being humiliated. At this point, I'm convinced that they're making bad movies on purpose, thinking that they're gonna get the market for the low budget movies. Instead, all they're doing is pissing everybody off because people are not expecting this to be the case. Mahershala Ali is a great actor, but seeing him be super serious in his role in a scene that clearly is not serious, waiting to die and sacrifice himself for literally no reason for a creature that is taking all of half an hour to reach him is just taking me out. Look at this. Oh my god, you're finally here an hour later. Ah! And then it just, oh my god. It just roars back at him because that's what it's supposed to do to give him time to get away, right? I can imagine in this moment the D-Rex is saying, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? Script says I'm supposed to give you time to get away. You're not supposed to still be here. You're not giving much to work with. Then again, that's all the dinosaurs in this movie. Kill everything else immediately to show their ferocity. When it's the main character humans, land in front of them, roar, then wait and watch them run away before you give chase. This is worse than the Dumb Movie Mondays, because at least those monsters at least are killing people.
Duncan! You have to go! Come on! Let's go, come on! I'm trying! I'm trying!
Why are they screaming? It's barely moving. Also, how does the boat work? How long has it been sitting there? Wouldn't the fuel have degraded? Whatever. Oh, look at that, just in time. It waited just long enough for them to get out of swipe shot. Look, it swings its arm and it's like, I gotta slow motion this swipe too. Wait, are you guys getting away? Gotta make it look good for the camis. Oh, darn it. Darn it, pasty old kids. I almost got you that time. And I would have done it too if it hadn't been for the stupid brain-dead script. Then they leave, looking freaking stupid as ass, with their stupid expressions of fake-ass fear. And the thing just stands there and slowly walks away. Now, what would have been great, because I'm still waiting at this moment, because I'm thinking to myself, bro, this cannot be the freaking movie. This cannot be the end of the freaking... That cannot be... the pinnacle of horror. This cannot be the final act and the climactic ending with this freaking dinosaur. It can't. It cannot. No, someone's trolling. This whole thing has to be a troll. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. And what would have been great if they had taken the video that a YouTuber made, a random YouTuber made a clip of this. Because I would have been like, oh shit, it was just playing with them when it starts galloping like this. This shit is freaking haunting, man. This YouTuber, this guy, you are freaking, this was, I saw this, and I felt more fear out of this 15-second clip than I did in the entirety of the last few movies of the Jurassic World franchise, including this recent one. This is what this movie should have been, and this guy, at the time of this, he probably had, like, less when I first saw this. 15 seconds. If they had just given us that, and they're like, oh my god, oh shit, and the thing turns over the boat, it would have made up for everything else because I would not have been expecting that. Like, I'm expecting it, but not expecting it. Go check out this guy, because he obviously has way more talent than the average person getting paid in Hollywood today. And from what he said, he made it in freaking Blender. Like, what are we actually doing right now? Look, even the lighting on this, look how terrifying he made it feel. We got even animators like James Escaranio making animations that are way better than what we have in the freaking Jurassic Park movie. Because at least in his animation, we get to see this thing fighting other dinosaurs to let us know how dangerous it is. Not once in Jurassic World Rebirth do we ever see any danger that this thing poses. Unless someone puts themselves in that situation like the Snickers dude. So yeah, they get away scot-free and it walks away. Meanwhile, Scarlett Johansson is still calling out for her friend who told her not to wait and to take the kids, and he sacrificed himself so they could get away. I would have actually respected them if they killed him off, but we all know what happens when someone is killed off screen. They're not really dead. Except, apparently, for when it comes to stupid backstories that have nothing to do with the character development.
Turn the boat around!
so they couldn't even commit to having a character sacrifice himself. And I'm sorry, where did he get the other flare? Might seem like a nitpick, but he just had one flare, did he not? Did he have a flare gun on him? Because as far as I know, he didn't. And first of all, how did he still have the other flare that he had on him in the first place? Because we see that the flare... okay, it was put out. Okay, whatever. I'm just... fuck this movie. This movie's ass. I don't even think it's fair to call this thing a movie. I don't know what it is, but we didn't even name for things like this. A cinematic skinwalker. There you go. That's what it is. Something wearing the disguise of a badly made movie while being a badly made whatever it is. I love you, Marshala, but fuck off. What's crazy is that they decide to take this little boat and go God knows where back into the exact same territory of ocean where the Mosasaurus and Spinosauruses were, but yet nothing happens. Interesting. The film starts to end with everyone staring at each other and swelling music playing, just like how they always end it because they narrowly escaped danger. No, they didn't. There was never any danger. And I find it funny that if this is an imaginary creature or whatever, but if this creature is real, it's hilarious that she's taking it away from its habitat and away from its home and possibly a family. Let's pretend it doesn't have any, but if they're taking it back to America or wherever it is they came from, are they bringing it to the same area where the dinosaurs were dying off in the first place? Do you even have the resources to take care of an animal like this? Because you can't feed it candy the entire time. It will die unless it's an imaginary creature. So unless you live in the pits of South America, your little animal is going to die a very horrible death. Not to mention, it's not just the climate that these dinosaurs have to worry about. It's the diseases which you're taking it back to so it can get exposed to. Fucking idiots. But I prefer to go with it having been her imaginary friend because as you can see, nobody else is acknowledging this thing, which made me believe that this little girl, the actress, suggested that she have a pet dinosaur in the movie because it sounds like something a little person would request. And everyone was just like, let's humor her because it's fun. And then ended up ruining the entire movie because they thought it was going to be like a Baby Yoda situation where they could use it for merchandising. You just made the movie worse.
Who do we give it to?
You decide.
I know this jackass didn't just tell her that she needs to decide. It was your idea to do this, bitch-ass Romeo. Be a man for once in your life, and if you're gonna suggest something like this, then you need to be the one that has a plan B as to what to do. You're gonna have her decide? She doesn't know what the fuck to do. You're the one that came up with this idea. It's almost as though you had no actual fucking plan because you're a fucking idiot.
We'll give it to everyone.
I was hoping you would say that, my child. Frickin' Satan. And alas, the drug will never get made, and it doesn't matter because the person who was supposed to pay you assholes is now dead because you didn't protect him, which he also paid you to do. Dumbasses. Now no one will get the drug. Good job. You all did this for no damn reason. And who the hell is everyone? How do you do that? Hey everyone, we have a cure for heart disease, but it's not actually manufactured. It just needs to be researched to be made into a heart disease medication, which is not a guarantee. So here you are, you can all have it. There it is for everyone. It's just a dinosaur blood vial, and that's essentially what's in it, except for the one that has the freaking white jizz in it, which means absolutely nothing to you because it's not, at this present time, a medication for heart disease. What is the script? These characters are the dumbest characters I've ever seen in a movie. And the only difference with this movie that makes me hate them even more is the fact that they're all still alive somehow. Then they see the dolphins, which is supposed to be reminiscent of what happened with Alan Grant at the end of the Jurassic Park movie, when they all survived, and when Alan Grant saw the pelicans flying, or storks, pretty sure they were pelicans, but it made more sense in that movie because it was a poetic contrast to dinosaurs being safer now and being birds in our modern day. As much as he loved dinosaurs, he was grateful to be going back into the world that he knows, where things aren't trying to freaking eat them. He's glad that dinosaurs had their time and grateful that they no longer live in a world where they're prey. That's what this meant. The dolphins have nothing to do with this, except if you're calling back to what someone said before about them thinking that the dolphins were in the distance instead of the Spinosauruses, which it should be because they're still in the territory around the island where the Spinosauruses are and where they're fiercely territorial, along with the Mosasaur that they somehow have a relationship with, but we never get to see to what extent that relationship entails or what the Mosasaur stands to benefit from it. But whatever, their plot armor is caked up to all hell. Ew, look at all of them. Oh my god, we survived. We in the nick of danger, the skin of our teeth. Shut the fuck up, stupid bitch-ass people. I really hope that a group of Spinosauruses, the same ones that they were running from at the beginning, ate them, and they never made it home. Because first of all, that boat's not going to get them home. That boat does not have enough gas to make that trip. It shouldn't even be working in the first place, but that shit is not going to make that trip. So these people are probably dead. Do they have a radio signal for help? I pray to God they're dead. This has to be a giant troll by the people who made this movie. This has been a very long journey with this commentary, like hours, I understand. You guys voted for the long form. But I hope now you guys understand what exactly I was talking about, because a lot of you didn't see the movie, so you probably thought I was just nitpicking or I was over-exaggerating when I said how bad it was. No, I try to be very fair. If you walked away and you still liked it, very good. I'd like to have whatever drugs you're having, because I would love to be that high. I'm kidding. In all seriousness, though, I'm jealous of you, because to date, this is the worst production from the Jurassic Park franchise I have ever seen. For me, I didn't think it was any possible to get worse, like, than Dominion, but here we are. There are so many other better ways that they could have written this, that at this point, I think the best thing they could have done for this franchise is just not make a movie at all. It would have been a mercy. If I were anyone like tied to this movie, I would change my name. If anybody asked me what I did, and this was the only thing in my portfolio, I'd rather say that I didn't do anything before presenting them with this movie. That's how embarrassed I'd be to be tied to something like this. Anyway, now I can take a long, hard nap. That was excruciating, boring and annoying. There you go. That's my honest opinion. Sorry, not sorry if that offends anyone. I want to go on a marathon and watch the first 3 movies and wash the taste out my mouth of this.